Hey, guess what? What if I were to tell you that if I were to ever meet you in real life, that hey,
If I were
Boone, I
ever
have
meet
your
you in
entire,
real life,
I
if
have
you
your
blah blah
address.
blah blah,
I have your
what's your
address. I have your
address?
address. I have your
My name
address.
is
I
Ross,
have
but
your
I can't
address. I
fax.
have
I
your
can't
address.
fax.
I have your address, Boone. I
I
have your
have your
fucking
names.
address.
Hey, folks, how are y'all doing tonight? How are we all doing? That's a that's a little classic Jonathan Ross. Uh, some of you may remember from a couple years ago. Classic internet saga. Um, was a beauty to watch it behold. People in the chat. I hear the MX-5 has a superior test result. Well, I used to know somebody who could have gotten me a good deal on an MX-5, but alas, he went crazy and joined a pagan cult. So, um, but I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not especially picky on my car. I need it to be obviously reliable and affordable, but I'm not exactly eager to drive a Mazda Miata because it's fucking gay. I mean, it's really just fucking gay. That is a very gay car. Um, so not exactly eager to hop on that one. But I figured, I don't know, maybe we stream, maybe we watch some stuff. Watch some goofy stuff. I guess we could watch some Davis. That's a possibility, chat. Um, we could watch some Owen Benjamin. That is also a possibility. Milker Nation has a tremendous amount of clips. The Owen is still trying to get the Beartopia up, trying to milk his idiot fans for all they're worth. Um, I mean, I don't have a lot that would top the Clerks. The amazing comedy genius that was the Clerks live action pilot. That was a hell of a show. And I was also a little buzzed for that. Um, so we could watch some Davis. We could watch some Benjamin. There's a video by I think the channel's called Mr. Reagan. What is the channel called? I now it's gonna bug me. But it's a very normie con guy. He does some good videos though. But very normie con, very normie conservative. He had a video on yeah, it is called Mr. Reagan. He had a video and it's an old video, but it's his review of Joker as well as analyzing the political firestorm around it. It's a decent enough video. I watched a good portion of it today. I take issue with a lot of aspects of it. There's a lot of aspects of it I would be able to break apart for a while. So we could watch that. Um, so that's up to you guys in the chat. Um, Becklaw should be like me and drive a rattling death trap. I mean, I'd rather not. I really just want some fucking reliability out of a car. So he says, I support Beartopia. Move those morons out of civilization. I mean, honestly, best case scenario, because they're in a legal battle with Patreon too, and fuck Patreon. So best case scenario is they hurt Patreon, um, and then get their money and start their compound and then get Waco'd. That's the best case scenario for the world at large. Of course, in Minecraft, I mean, obviously, goes without saying in Minecraft. But that's it, chat. That's some stuff I got on the table tonight. We could watch a Normie Con, talk about Joker. We could watch Owen Benjamin continue to be Owen Benjamin, or we could watch Davis do some cringe. I know we finished watching it. Or no, we're not gonna finish. Let's be real. Watch some more of him with Hadron. That's always fun. So you let me know, chat. You let me know what you think there. What you thinking? There's 12 of you. That's a full arena of audience right there. That's what he gets on his announced pre-scheduled stream. That's what I get on a random out of nowhere stream on a channel I've damn near killed. by sort of abandoning it, but not really. So that's up to you, chat. What do you think? Give you guys a minute or so. Let's see. Owen, please. Somebody says they want Owen. Owen is fresh. Looks like people are wanting Owen. Says I hope it goes more Friday 13th in Waco. Vote for some Canadian carnage. I guess that means Arini. So we got one vote for Arini. See, so we got one vote. It looks like more people want Owen. More people are wanting Owen. People enjoy the music. Well, the music is by soundcloud.com/nano_squid. Former sidekick of the show. Doing some music. Looks like everybody wants Owen. Alright, well, we will watch some motherfucking Owen. Let's see. Where's Milker Nation? All right, chat. Let's take a look at this. Boo! Somebody wanted Davis, I guess. Well, you got to outvote it. Let's go to Windows Capture. So we should bring this more in line. There we go. Okay, chat. So. As you can see, we got, here's Owen talking more about his Bertoria. A bunch of these, like, this one this one right here, the Owen Benjamin versus Animals, that is right out. I can't fucking hang with that. I can't get through that. Fucking watching this psychopath abuse animals. It's just not something I can stomach. Sorry to tell you, chat. Let's see. Owen Benjamin versus Remnant Beer. Owen Benjamin's Time to Share Pledge. It's more on that. A lot of these I've sort of like half watched or clicked on, and so there's a little bit started. Owen Benjamin's Guide to Good Parenting. I don't think I've clicked on that at all. Let's see. One of these, I'm trying to think of which one it was. There was one where he just kept talking about like somebody wants to suck his dick. It was somebody beyond the veil. So somebody named Beyond the Veil was feuding with him, and it was really. Owen Benjamin is proud of his incestuous character on. It was some shitty show or movie he did. Well, let's click this. Sullivan and
Owen?
Son.
How'd you know?
Okay, so apparently his character on Sullivan and Son was incestuous. I'm gonna get fucking popped by TBS for this shit, but oh well.
Where to find me, Steve?
I didn't know I was looking for you. What are you doing here?
I'm running away from home.
You're 30. At your age, it's called moving out.
I'm not really moving out. I'm just gonna let her miss me a little bit.
See, Owen, you treat your mom like she's your girlfriend, which means when she has a real boyfriend, you feel like you've been dumped, which is weird.
You've never understood the love me and my mom have. We're different, Steve. Our love is special. We play by our own rules.
That's the concern. What does it take to be a winner? Drive. intensity, concentration, and most importantly, a killer instinct.
Owen and I are ready. We're gonna win this contest. We've been rehearsing for months. We just can't decide which number to do together.
Right. Mom wants to do I Touch Myself. I think we should do I Want Your Sex.
Ew. Okay, so his character was named Owen. God, I hate when they do that. Like when they find some comedian they know can't fucking act, and they know this moron isn't gonna like respond unless it's his own name.
Owen and I are ready. We're gonna win this contest. We've been rehearsing for months. We just can't decide which number.
Well, no, I get it. That was the joke of the show, but like, I want to hear him say he was proud of it. Okay, here we go.
Dude, we had something so special with that show. It was one of the best sitcoms. I'm not saying this because I was on it. It's one of the best sitcoms ever made.
Sullivan and Son on PBS was one of the best sitcoms ever made. What an arrogant... And again, he actually convinces himself this shit. What an arrogant fuck. Thank you for the super chat. I'll get to that in a second.
Because you had organically the race shit. We were real friends. Like Ahmed is Vince Vaughn's best friend, one of his best friends for like 25 years. Me and Steve Byrne were always boys. Roy Wood is just a funny ass comic that we were boys with. And we all were just like, let's write a fucking show. And so Byrne wrote the show. And Vince was like, baby, I'm telling you right now, we'll fucking sell the show, you know? So it wasn't that forced Hollywood bullshit of like, we need to have the black guy and the fucking, the Muslim, and every time the white people are bad. No, it literally was real life.
This is something that's so annoying with people on the right. Like, I get it. All that forced diversity and cringe, and it is cringe. All that forced pause is cringe, okay? But, like, that's not the only thing that could be wrong with something. You can have a show that has an organic premise or whatever and has none of that and still fucking falls flat. We just watched a Clerks pilot last night. Didn't have any forced diversity in it. I didn't see one motherfucking black person in that show. It still sucked. Like, everything is through the political lens with these people. Everything is, well, it's either leftist propaganda or it's not. It sucks. Sullivan and Sons is ass. It was a terrible fucking show. All right? It was poorly written fucking schlock. And it didn't even have any solid character actors to prop it up. Like, The Big Bang Theory is most of the time poorly written schlock. But you know what? Jim Parsons and Johnny Galecki are fantastic fucking character actors. And they can hold up weak-ass fucking writing because they're great comedic actors. Jordan Owen isn't a great anything other than fucking lolcow. All the laughs Jordan Owen gets are fucking accidental.
It literally was real life.
See, Owen, you treat your mom like she's your girlfriend.
You've never understood the love me and my mom have. We're different, Steve. Our love is special. We play by our own rules.
You wouldn't make love to me. To me, give it 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 to me, give it. And it was so funny. And that's what that's what scared people about it, because it shows people how to laugh at stuff, you know?
It scared people. We weren't ready for Sullivan and Sons. We weren't ready for that show. That show was too good for this world. Oh, let me find that fucking one on where he was arguing with some YouTuber called Beyond the Veil or Lift the Veil or something like that, who I've never fucking heard of. I don't know if they're good or bad, but Owen was insisting that this person wanted to suck his dick. Like, not a joke, none of that shit, just like deadly fucking serious. So let me see if I can find it. Owen versus Lift the Veil. Okay, so. Alright, we're a little bit into it. I'm going to go ahead and.
He'll landscape your lawn, but he won't rape and steal from you when shit goes down. Because
That's nice. We're going to go ahead and change the speed. Because it's Owen. Let's see. All right, so this is Owen Benjamin versus Lift the Veil, and things are going to get really gay, really. And I don't mean gay as in lame. I mean gay as in homoerotic. Things are going to get extremely homoerotic with Owen here very, very soon.
he's half Tartarian. I was wondering about that guy. What again? What happened? What are you guys talking about? What?
Oh, real quick before I forget, there was a super chat. Let's go ahead and acknowledge that. In fact, we'll even put it right back up on the screen.
Have you heard of Jesus?
This live stream is sponsored by Lindsay Ellis's OnlyFans. Subscribe today to see Spoonie's biggest regret. So we're going to see the aborted fetus? That's pretty fucking edgy. Goddamn, Lindsay. I'm a little surprised you kept it this long, but is it like in a pickle jar? You know, one of those like formaldehyde jars or something? But yeah, I mean, I'd throw a buck or two her way just to see that. You know, throw your nickel down at the freak show.
What's about? Just made a clip. What's going on? What happened? Kind to know. So what's happening? Lift the Veil is the biggest homo on D Live. I don't even know who that is. Lift the Veil. Okay. What's he doing?
Oh, earlier in this, just for context, he was talking about how Lift the Veil is a cool guy or something like that. So he does know who that is.
Is he talking shit? Gamma clipping me?
I like the close-ups this person does, Milker Nation, of his mouth and eyes and all, to show like what a dangerously insane individual this guy is.
What is a gamma clip? All right, what an amazing letter. Spamming the chat for what? I just had to get rid of a gamma. Nice, nice. What does gamma clipping me? He's not worth knowing. What is gamma clipping? They banned Lift the Veil. I don't know why though. Okay, I shouldn't engage. That was a wonderful letter. Thank you, Endurance Bear. God. By the way, just FYI, every time you try and do something, he plugged a video here. Oh. Every time you try and do something really good, you get attacked a ton. Literally clipping. Yeah, he's clipping his dick. He can't talk shit. He's banned for what? Right. He's making clips of you talking. Why would he do that? God damn it. Why would he do that? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, things don't make sense. It's all good. Oh, look at Owen spiraling. Look at. I never would do that to anybody. I would never go into someone's chat and be like, I'm going to humiliate him in my chat. All right, God handled that right quick. Nice.
I doubt that.
I shouldn't have even brought it up. Sorry for bringing that up. That guy emailed me before. Is that the same guy? He's on YouTube? All right, he was talking crap about you yesterday on his stream. Oh, Jesus. Why? Because I'm trying to do something positive? Lift the Veil has a super tiny ween.
You're doing something pause, all right.
Women can't stop laughing at. Can you verify that, kind Tenoso? Because he's a bell and a fag. Isn't Lift the Veil an actually D-Live stream? Creepy. Try to humiliate what they don't realize is they humiliate themselves. Right, I know, but it's just like when you try to grow and come up with something new and unique and like really positive, it feeds the gammas. I've been getting so many letters from gammas like, I'm gonna humiliate you. I'm gonna fucking and it's like, it's just so exhausting. Lift the Veil is a starfish boy. Nobody cares about him. Stop trolling, y'all. It's over. It's all good.
Starfish boy. Is that like a
Lift the
reference
Veil
to
is Dirty
buttholes?
Dave. What's with these fags that talk shit about us? Go back to shitting on the lab. Well, they're scared. You know, you can do a psychological breakdown of it. They're completely dependent on the beast, and they're scared. Lift the Veil. Yeah, he lifts the veil.
Yes, Owen. We are all dependent on the system, and we're afraid that Owen Benjamin's going to bring it all toppling down. That's what it is. Owen Benjamin, he's gonna bring the system down, man. We're also scared of the paradigm shift that Owen Benjamin is going to bring to the world.
It turns out it's a dude under there, and then he fucks the dude because he's gay. Lift the veil. What he does is he lifts the veil, and then he sees it's a dude with a dick, and then he bangs it. Lift the veil. He's like, oh, my bride. Look, my bride's covered by a veil. And then he lifts the veil, and it's a dude with a big dick. And he's like, yes! Lift the skirt. No. He lifts the veil, and it's a dude the whole time.
Get it? Because it's a dude. Because he's saying that this guy that was mean to him is gay. I'm not sure if you caught the subtle humor of this comedic genius. Don't forget, he's a comedic genius. See, and what you may have missed the joke here. So let me help you out here, chat. See, he's saying that this guy that made fun of him is a homosexual. That was the joke. It was really good.
Hopefully he just made a clip of that. So lift the veil. He's like, everybody ready to lift the veil? And then he lifts it. And it's just a big dude with a dick. And then lift the veil is like, my lucky day. I was so nervous it was going to be a woman I had to breed with. But I had been so involved in it since childhood, watching every movie.
This man is so obviously a closeted homosexual. Like, is there anybody that wants to argue he's not to me? I would honestly want you to call in. Like, cause is there anybody that's going to tell me this man is not a closet homosexual? All right. He talks about dicks and buttholes and gay sex more than anyone I've ever known. And I've known gay guys. He fucking was molested as a kid, which he has. I'm not spilled some tea there. He said that before. And, you know, that causes that kind of shit sometimes. So is anybody going to actually argue with me that this fucking sociopath, among other things, you know, he's a fucking sociopath, narcissist, all that stuff. But is anybody going to argue with me that this man isn't a self-loving closet homosexual?
Movie, TV show, etc., that it was hard to disconnect from. I can't thank you enough for pulling the veil back. Dude, I love synchronicities. I fucking love synchronicities. Hey, lift the veil. You ever have that happen? Sorry, I shouldn't be gloating. You ever have that shit happen in your life, lift the veil? No, I bet you don't, do you? Pulling the veil back on some...
He didn't even see the clip. He just heard somebody was mocking him on D-Live and has a fucking meltdown. Well, that guy's gay.
So many monsters. You still running me, lift the veil? Do you have that shit happen to you, bud? Huh? No? Thank you, Lift the Veil. Thank you for participating in something truly amazing. If you hadn't come in here like a little gamma troll, a lot of people wouldn't have been able to experience a beautiful synchronicity like that. The vibe's back. The vibe never left, Lawnmower Bear. I love it. Dude, I just got goosebumps. I love that. Thank you, God.
You love dick?
Hey, Lift the Veil. You still digging the vibe? That was written days ago, put in an envelope, sat in my P.O. box, and the timing was within a minute. Oh, God, I love life. But I want to have all the sex and squirt, of course. Ew. God, I love that just happened. Yeah, people are loving the Veil synchronicity. Lift the Veil is a major Gamma Secret King. And this is from a very trusted source.
Fucking Gamma.
I listened to 2 minutes of him back in the Gamma Swarm days and wanted to throw up. Wow, Lift the Veil synchronicity was epic. God lifted the veil on that fag. Haha. Yeah, I can't stop smiling. Dear Owen, hope all is well at Ursa Manor. Just writing again to say thank you for all the encouragement you give the Bears. I started my first garden this summer. Man, I feel like I'm going to cry right now. Fuck. Sorry. All right. And when I saw that you could just make things... sorry. Everyone's gay. Shapiri. This reminds me when BB was getting the very first letters back in the day. Lots of excitement. Yeah, totally. Yeah, but I started to cry a little bit, which is a little gay. Because, dude, I get lonely. It's one reason why I live stream all the time. It's like sometimes Ryan's working and everybody's gone. My wife's teaching my kids something. And some people are like, yeah, I'll come over. I'm like, I don't know you, and that scares my wife. So I just kind of do my own thing.
People give this man money. People follow this man. I'm at a loss. Like, how do you not look at him for 3 seconds and your spider sense is just going right the fuck off?
I just wait for Lift the Veil to try and suck my dick. That's the thing about these gammas, like Lift the Veil. It's like,
Oh, dude, this is when he goes on for like 10 minutes about how Lift the Veil wants to suck his dick. It's just on and on about it.
they're flirting. It's like, dude, I'm not going to let you suck my dick, dude. Tormented man, totally.
Like somebody makes the look in his eyes there. Like somebody makes fun of him. It's like, no, you can't suck my dick. That's not what it is. That what? It's I'm almost speechless.
Lift the
with a
Veil
lot
comes
of
in here to
it.
flirt.
Shit.
You know, he comes in here because he thinks I'm going to let him suck my dick. And it's fucking gross. Dude, I love it. I
know,
mean,
it's
I love that,
gross.
like, people get to see how to handle flirting. Like, Lift the Veil comes in, it's called negging in the gay community. So Lift the Veil comes in, he's like, hey, Big Bear, I'm Lift the Veil. Do you want to lift the veil and see what I got? I'm like, close the veil, close the veil. He's like, and this is how my life always goes, by the way. It's like, someone will come in and talk shit.
That's
I
how
win.
it always goes. All these guys are always offering to suck Owen's dick, but he has to fight them away. No, Owen, that's just your gay thoughts. Those aren't real people.
It talking shit. Then they clip it and go, look at him attacking me. Everyone sees it. Black Lives Matter, the Grab Wars, all of it. We're all so sick of the like, no, he's hitting me, he's hitting me. It's like, dude, Lift the Veil wants me to lift his veil, and then he wants to suck my dick. And he's a gay, weird dude. I mean, this is flirting. We all know it's flirting. It's like, I'm here to neg you. That's not how men act. That's not, it's like, oh, it's my marketing strategy, big.
No, men will bust each other's balls. Men will mock each other. Men will shit talk each other. We do that, okay? And men understand that somebody busting your balls doesn't mean they want your balls in their mouth, okay? But Owen apparently immediately goes there. Good God, no wonder Davis liked him so much. You're right, Chet.
Bear, what's your marketing strategy besides begging for money? It's like, you're flirting with me. Close the veil. Lower the veil. Lower the veil. Oh, you don't like how I flirt? And he's the type of guy that wants to suck my dick. Like, that's the thing that people don't understand about a lot of these homos. They're like, it would be my pleasure to service you. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Why do you think he's called Lift the Veil? He thinks he's like a princess bride. Dude's a poof. Bad. He's flirting and squirting right now. Lift the Veil is married to a beautiful woman. So Steven Crowder, guys.
So is Owen Benjamin.
So Lift the Veil comes in here and he's like, lift the veil.
Amy's not that hot. But yeah, a lot of gay guys have beards. But yeah. Oh, Lift the Veil made fun of me, so he wants to suck my dick. He goes on about this for like 10 fucking minutes.
Veil. It's like, I don't want to. He's like, there's something naked under here. It's like, no, I don't want to. It's like, here I am. And then he'd be like, it'd be my honor if I pleasure. You've never had a blowjob from a dude before. It takes a man to know a man. That's what these dudes say. How many kids? I don't want anything to do with him. Does he have kids? Just out of curiosity. Lift the Veil should rename his channel to Mr. Richard Smoker. Right. Obviously, cover the veil. Cover the veil. Cover the veil. Cover the veil. Does he have kids? Or does he just have a real unsatisfied, beautiful wife? Like, Crowder's wife is beautiful, such a shame. Right. These dudes, they get a real beautiful wife, but he has a beautiful wife. That's what they do. No kids? I knew it. He has cats? Will Smith said that. Yeah, it's a quote from Will Smith. So it's like,
He has no kids, so he must want to suck Owen Benjamin's dick.
they get a beautiful woman to marry them, and then they're like, everybody will know that everyone will think I'm straight now. And so then they have these closet gay relationships. They come into like my world, like a 6'8" burly lumberjack looking dude who yells at people. It's kind of, hey Bears, I just made a clip. It's time to fuck with Owen. And then, oh no, don't catch me. And he's just showing everyone his ass. Oh no, don't catch me. She was married a year or so ago.
This is all just pulled from his head. None of this fucking happened. Nowhere near any of this happened. This is just what he imagines happened because somebody came in and shit talked him.
So what are you up to? You want to get banned? Are you backing this dude? Lift the veil of heterosexuality. Right. And Lift the Veil's cat just died this week, and he probably made a big deal out of it, didn't he? If my cat, guys, I've had like 2 cats die in the last 3 months. Did I even mention it? You can always tell someone's a closet poof.
I deeply feel sorry for all the fucking animals this man is in charge of taking care of. Because, I mean, he doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. He is a sociopath. But he openly, he doesn't even pretend to care about his pets and livestock. And now he's going to say it's gay if you're sad that a pet died. Well, no, Owen, those of us with a soul do indeed mourn the loss of a pet. Those of us that aren't hollow inside do indeed mourn the loss of a pet. Spice Weasel donated $10. Thank you very much for the super chat. Said, use this towards the down payment on your new car. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a great deal. Any money donated right now, I mean, I always, let me be clear, I always appreciate it when people donate to me. Right now in particular, I appreciate it especially. So thank you very much for that. God, this guy is so unnerving. Like, he's obviously insane. He's obviously evil. And people fucking adore him.
When they're constantly talking about a dead cat. When someone's like, oh, dude, my dog Benny, I love my dog Benny. I fucking love my dog.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you love anyone or anything, Owen. I genuinely don't believe that you are capable of that. I want to be clear. Owen Benjamin does not have the capacity for what is known as love. Okay? Owen Benjamin can love something in the way I loved my car. I loved my car. In the sense that I enjoyed it a great deal. And I miss the fact that it's gone. But my car was just glass, rubber, and steel. And these days, more than a little plastic. It had no heart. It had no mind. It had no soul. And I knew that. It was just a thing. It's entirely replaceable. Although circumstances make it hard to replace, it is nonetheless replaceable. That's not the same thing as a love I feel for my friends, for my family, for my father, for my dearly departed dog Loki, who died in 2017, and I'm still sad about it. I'm still sad about my childhood dog that I lost in 1998. Actually, no, it was 99. That's right. Hell, I love this fat, retarded dog over here that belongs to my dad. I love all those things. Now, we use the word love for many things. The way I love all those people and animals far eclipses the way I love my car, or I love my Nintendo Switch, or I love a really nice shirt that looks good on me. Owen Benjamin is incapable. I genuinely believe this. Owen Benjamin is not capable of actual love. Of the love you feel towards a loved one. So no, he doesn't love his dog. Somebody says, would you say he's like that guy from Harvest Bible? James McDonald may indeed be a sociopath. I'm not as certain that James McDonald is a sociopath as Owen Benjamin. James McDonald is not as hollow as Owen Benjamin.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Oh my God, Spice Weasel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not. Forgive me. You did not send $10. You sent $100. Thank you very, very much. And I'm sorry. I did not see that. Yes, I see you in the chat there. I see you. And then Seneca Chief said, "Can't let Spice Weasel beat me. Use this for the car," and he said $101. Thank you both very much. That's, I mean, I was thankful for the $10. I'm downright a little speechless for the $100. Thank you very much. Good God. I mean, you know I'm a shithead and don't deserve that, right? I mean, just so we're clear. But thank you very much. Damn, I don't even know what to say to that. We'll put that towards Bulbatoria. Fucking. Oh, yes. Sorry, I just kind of glanced at it and thought I saw $10. Well, man, I'll play your thing again. There, good God.
Have you heard of Jesus?
$100. Holy balls! And then, here we got what's that? Fades. Do Syndicate Chiefs again.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Consider it help for a brother in Christ. Well, thank you. God damn, we need boxes, so better make sure you get to work on time. You know, if I absolutely had to.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Apparently I clicked that twice. How about that? That was twice. Sorry about that. But if I absolutely had to, push come to shove.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Apparently it wasn't responding fast enough, and I clicked it a bunch of times. I hope it's not going to just do this a million times the rest of it. I don't have people sending me $101 dozens of times in a row there. So no, it was just the two people that did that. But push come to shove, I could probably walk to work. I don't think that will be necessary. But it's a possibility. And honestly, this week, this coming week, I'm going to talk to some people at work about getting rides. My father obviously lives with me, and he works part-time, but he is usually home before I go to work, so I can share his truck. I mean, I'm not in a position where I'm going to be, this is going to ruin my life and I'm going to end up penniless and alone in the gutter. I'm just kind of fucked for once in my life, no fault of my own. But thank you. I thank both of you in particular for that, but honestly, thanks to everyone who donates. Even $1 is appreciated, but thank you. God damn. That's downright touching.
But an old dog or an old cat, it's a bummer. But I'm not just gonna come on here and be like, oh Jesus, someone catch me. Gay guys who marry beautiful women, it's called having a beard. Oh yeah, because the girl thinks they scored.
If you just buried your dog and you're not crying, fuck you.
The girl's like, this guy likes to shop. He's like, he gets it. He's strong. He works out all the time. He's in such great shape. He understands style and fashion. He wants to wait till marriage. Don't get me wrong. I want people to wait till marriage. But it's like, this is perfect. He's super Christian. He never wants to touch me. He loves shopping, loves working out, loves negging giant men. He's so courageous. Look at him trying to start a fight with this giant man. He wants me to fuck him. This is what people don't understand about Crowder and these guys. It's like, oh, look at him. He's the perfect man.
Oh, and people making fun of you. This is the other thing. If people were making fun of me in just vast numbers, if somebody was really riding my ass, then maybe they're just an asshole. Maybe they're just a shithead. But I'm always going to think, at least partially, maybe they have a point. Maybe I'm being cringy or stupid or whatever. I'm going to reflect on myself, and I might even beat myself up if they are good enough at doing it that they really cut me, I'm gonna like, oh my God, maybe they have a point. Maybe I am, whatever. Because I have self-reflection. Because I'm constantly at least trying to look at myself and say, man, maybe I'm the asshole. Doesn't mean I'm all that good at fixing it, but I can at least acknowledge it. But these sociopaths, and a lot of parallels between Big Gay Bear here and Davis. When somebody's making fun of them, they have to be like, it's for this convoluted reason. We covered this numerous times on here about the mental gymnastics Arini used to do to explain, and it was even before I turned on him, before Forney turned on him, and Argent and all the rest. Even before that, back when like Jordan Owen turned on him, or back when Thunderfoot turned on him, and Sargon, those guys. The mental gymnastics Davis would do to never address the actual criticism or subject of mockery, but to be like, this person is only doing it because of this, that, or the other thing. Thunderfoot is doing it because he's jealous of me. Everybody's jealous of me. I can get all these girls and they're jealous of me. Davis, I had a three-way with a hot blonde and a hot redhead before I was done high school. And I had, as they like to say, taken that redhead around the world more than a few times. I don't have anything to prove. Do I claim to be some Casanova that can have any woman he wants or whatever? No. But for a goofy fucking chud like myself, I've done pretty good. That ain't why people made fun of you, Davis. And again, this is what Owen over here. You know, well, he's just making fun of me because he wants to suck my dick. No, he's making fun of you. And again, I don't know this guy. Maybe this guy is a closet fag. I've never heard of this fucking content creator, as we like to say it. But he's probably making fun of you because you're funny. Because you are laughable, Owen. You're fucking laughable. That's why he's making fun of you. In the chat, Spice Weasel says, damn you, Syndicate Chief. That's right. He beat you by $1. See, if you wanted to be really smart, he would have beat you by $0.01. But I guess we're going with Price is Right rules. So he goes $1. He did the Price is Right move. He did exactly the Price of Right move. I bid 100. I bid $101. One day I just want somebody at The Price is Right, when somebody pulls that move, to just look over at the guy and be like, you fucker. Owen Price scores mid-range on any sociopathy test. Mid-range would be if he's lying about half the answers, which, I mean, people like him always do. No, honest answers he'd score fucking through the roof. God, he is exhausting to watch. Like, there is something just mentally exhausting about watching somebody that's fucking evil and vile. Like I said, I can't fucking watch the animal abuse video.
See?
You guys would have to super chat me a whole fucking car to get me to be able to sit through that animal abuse video. I have no fucking tolerance. No fucking stomach to watch animals get abused. Like, my dad will want to watch those fucking vet shows once in a while, you know, like the Yukon Vet or like Dr. Pol and shit like that. You know, it's like these reality shows around these vets, and it's usually in some vets that like serve as zoos or wild animals. So you get all these, you know, you're not just getting a bunch of dogs and cats in there all day long. But you know, some dog will come in with like fucking porcupine quills all over his face because he was fucking with a porcupine, and it's like I just can't even look at that. Like, oh my god, that's horrible. I don't even want to see that. I just got not even abusing animals. I got no stomach to see an animal in pain. Did you do a Rainey's description of the narcissistic personality in Immersed in Subversion? We haven't watched Immersed in Subversion. We might watch that at some point. Wandering Eye. You give yourself a little to credit, Beckloff. You have a lot of redeeming qualities. For example, you're very charismatic. I don't know about that. Have a great radio voice. I don't know about that one either. And a lovable type of guy. It makes up for your faults. I don't know about the great radio voice. I kind of feel like I have a douchebag cadence to my voice. Like, almost slightly frat boy douchebag, like dude bro kind of thing. Which, like, it's in some regards, it's not really me. I mean, I'm a big old dork that wants, you know. I've spent most of the last few days binge watching Star Trek Enterprise, which, by the way, never gave that show enough of a chance, and it is far better than my first impressions of it led me to believe. So he says canines have incredibly high pain tolerance. If that makes you feel better, you know, it's funny. My dad had this little Cavalier Spaniel years ago named Stewie, and he was a particular skinny one for his breed, and he had kind of slightly bug eyes. We always thought there was like a great grandfather of his or something was a Chihuahua. It always looked like he had just a bit of Chihuahua in him. But he was a little drama queen. I mean, if you kind of touched his sides and tickled his ribs a little bit, he'd scream, or if you you know, just took a toy from him or something, he'd scream like you're killing him. But at one point, he broke his little leg, and this was late at night, right? So we couldn't get him to the vet till the morning because there is an emergency animal clinic around here. But there are a bunch of fucking butchers over there. You know what I mean? I mean, basically their answer to most things is, all right, we'll take him out back and shoot him. So it's like, oh man. So we had an emergency vet appointment in the morning, and we kind of just had to stay with him and, you know, baby him throughout the night. And you'd never seen this little guy be more stoic when he had to be in real immense pain. But again, you know, if he's not getting his way, scream bloody murder. You know, to the point where like he was so ticklish on his sides that I'd sometimes be like Stewie, I'm gonna get your ribs, I'm gonna get your ribbies, I'm gonna get your ribbies, and like, you know, he'd be like sitting on my lap, you know, and I'd be like, I'm gonna get him, and he'd start screaming. I'm like, I'm not even anywhere near him, right? And I'm just like, Stewie, you gotta wait till I do it. But just yelping his head off, like, and you could just tell he's just being a little drama queen. You know what I mean? But the hand again, he broke his leg, and then there were other times that he was legitimately sick. You know, like, he had an impacted fucking asshole basically at one point. I guess they have fucking glands in their ass that put some sort of pheromones or scent on their shit, you know, but they can get inflamed or whatever. So basically he's just suffering from the world's worst case of constipation. I had no idea what it was at first. Like, this poor little guy's, he's walking around with his back hunched all the time. I thought, did you hurt your back or something? What happened, buddy? They take him to the vet, basically, and, you know, it's a vet bill for them to essentially squeeze the shit out of the dog. Which, I remember the vet telling my dad, like, you know, I could show you how to do this. And my dad's like, nah, that's all right. I'm sure it's worth every penny. But the point is, when he was actually in, and he kind of wrote, that little guy was so stoic. Oh, he was a little trooper if he was actually sick or injured. Ass pheromones. I don't know what you call it. Dogs have some sort of gland in their ass that secretes some sort of scent, additional scent, I should say, on their shit. Something left over from their wolf ancestors, part of marking their territory. Their anal glands. Yeah, it's but you know, they can get inflamed and cause just this crippling case of constipation for these poor damn things. Especially smaller dogs. Smaller dogs will get it a lot. I think Loki got that like one time, but Loki was a lot bigger, just in frame, than Stewie. Stewie and Loki were buddies for most of their lives. So he says you don't want to have to release the scent glands if you don't have to. Yeah, like I said, we can show you how to do this. No, it's all right. It's worth every penny. It's funny. Stewie and Loki, again, they were damn near closer to each other than they were to me or my father. But Loki was a bigger frame, more muscular, just all around a tougher little dog. Even though he was like a year or two younger than Stewie. Just basically their whole lives. But Stewie constantly just basically like always trying to be the alpha dog with Loki. And Loki just didn't care. He's like, sure, yeah, Stewie, whatever. Like, so he said, I had a coy dog and I had to do that once for an old age. It smelled awful. I bet. Morning ass pheromones. Yeah, well, you know, it's the best way I could put it, I'm afraid. But yeah, they're stoic. These little guys are just. I'll never forget when I finally put poor Loki down. You know, and you know they give him the shot, and he's getting sleepy, so he's getting weak, getting tired, and he kind of, you know, he's sitting up, and then he lays down, and I'm bawling. I am just bawling, and this little guy musters up this tiny shred of strength he has to sit up because he wants to start licking my face. He wants to comfort me because he knows I'm upset. Just with his last shred of strength. And if you don't, like, I want to cry right now thinking of that. That was 3 fucking years ago. And Owen over here like, well, if my cat or dog died, I'd just be like, whatever, it's a bummer, but move on. What a shitbag, man. What a shitbag. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I don't have any tolerance for that shit. I can't even see a vet show on or something like, oh, this animal broke its leg or something. It's just, I'm like, oh god, I can't even look at that shit. It's a fucking sociopath. He's just so uncomfortable to watch.
Saves it for marriage. Don't get me wrong, good idea, but he's doing it for the wrong ways. He wants to save it for marriage, and then he like runs around ankle biting giants because he's so tough. And no, he's not tough. Lift the veil. It's like, oh no, I'm running away from you. I'm running away. Please don't catch me and have your way with me. And so then,
again, I want to reiterate, this is all because Lifting the Veil made fun of Owen Benjamin, and I guess he came in the chat and made fun of him. Like, it doesn't mean he wants you to fuck him. I know you call yourself a bear, and we know what that symbolizes, but no, it doesn't mean he wants to be your twink there, Big Bear.
His wife is like, where's my babies? And the guy's like, we got to save it till marriage. She's like, we've been married a year. Why won't you touch me? It's like, well, I have to lift the veil in the world. I have so much important things to do out there. The deep state is coming for me. I can't bring a child in this world. It's like, oh, fuck, you're gay. Oh, fuck, he's been gay the whole time. That's why.
Some people just don't want to have kids, and it's not because they're gay, Owen. Again, I don't know what this guy's situation is. I don't know what the fuck. He just doesn't want kids. Like, you shouldn't have had kids, Owen. The fact that children have to look at you and as a father figure is horrifying. And it will hurt. And you being their father, them having to deal with your batshit crazy bullshit in their most formative years is something that will deeply scar them. And if they're lucky, they'll be able to get over it at some point in their adult life. You shouldn't have had kids. So don't shit talk somebody else who maybe he has the self-awareness to say, I don't know, maybe I'm not cut out for this father thing. That doesn't mean he wants to suck your dick, you narcissistic pile of goat vomit.
He's in shape. That's why he likes fashion. That's why he's always trying to start fights with giants. He wants them to let him suck his dick. Oh my God, he's a gay guy. And he's like, lift the veil, right? Am I wrong? Everyone knows I'm not wrong.
10 minutes
but don't you
deeply describing how this man wants to suck his dick because he made fun of him. Going on and on and on about it. Matt Forney in the chat. Whatever you do, do not spray horse mating pheromones on your ass and allow a stallion to mount you. That doesn't end well. Don't you threaten Owen Benjamin with a good time? No, I guess according to these rants, Owen's a big top. He's like, I bet you want me to eat your boy pussy, right? You faggot.
Oh, my cat just died. It's like Steven Crowder obsessed for months and months and months about his dead dog. Dude,
Yeah, Steven Crowder is most likely a closet homosexual, okay? And is most likely a sociopath, don't get me wrong. Much like you, Owen, on both of those counts. But Steven Crowder being upset over his dead dog is one of the few cases you see a slither of fucking human soul in Steven Crowder. Like, to the extent it appeared genuine, of actual humanity in Steven Crowder and not just fake polished bullshit. All right. Again, 3 fucking years ago, and if I think too hard on little Loki's last moments, my eyes get watery. If I weren't live, I could easily let myself cry about it. It is insanely touching. The strength of spirit that little beast had.
throats and bury animals all the time. Oh, how dare you? Where do you think chicken comes from, retard? And by the way, animals die. They're great buddies. They fucking die. They die. Oh, my cat, my kitty cat.
Yes, everything dies, Owen. Okay? But when you're attached to it, it's still sad. And yeah, I know you raise chickens and you eat them. I eat meat. I'm not going to act like, as much of an animal lover as I am, I'm not going to act like, oh, I wouldn't eat an animal. No, fuck that, all right? My ancestors didn't spend eons clawing their way to the top of the food chain for me to eat fucking grass. All right? Yeah, I'll eat chicken. I'll eat beef. Fucking delicious. But you know what? I hope that chicken was treated as well as reasonably possible throughout its life and was killed as humanely as reasonably possible. I far prefer animals to be grass-fed, free-range, all that good bullshit. And you know what? That leads to better meat. If an animal is treated right its entire life, it actually leads to better meat, almost as if there's some sort of moral order to the universe.
my kitty cat died. Oh, dude, I've lost 2 cats in 3 months. It's called coyotes. And then I hear them fucking high-fiving in the distance. Yip, 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 woo! Like as my cat's blood is streaming down their face. And I'm like, oh, he died an honorable death.
What are you, a fucking Klingon? Why don't you put up a fence? Or if they're really that much of a problem, shoot the goddamn coyotes. You got little babies walking around. You know they can cart off with them too. Well, Owen Jr. died a fucking honorable death, didn't he? What kind of a fucking lunatic are you? Put up a fence or something. Didn't you spend like a year and a half talking about you were building a fence? The fuck came of that? Oh well, coyotes keep picking off my fucking cats. It's a good day to die, Mr. Whiskers.
Because the cats are here just to kill mice and rats and shit because they have a fucking job to do, not just warming.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You are, once again, well, the cats are here to kill mice. I'm not attached to them. They mean nothing to me. Let's be real, Owen. No one means anything to you, ultimately. The narcissistic element of it's my legacy and it's it makes me look good to have kids is probably the only reason you kids don't mean anything to you, Owen. Your wife doesn't mean anything to you. You're incapable of experiencing love. These things mean something to you only so long and so far as they serve your purposes. That is the reality of the situation. Your fans don't mean anything to you. Good fucking God. 2 people just gave me $201 between the 2 of them. And I'm sitting here like, good God. Oh my God. Holy shit. I'm touched. I'm honored and humbled at the same time by such a gesture. Meanwhile, when people throw you money, you're like, yeah, thanks, fucking pay pig. Make it more next time. Like a fucking findom. A really mean and fucking crazy one at that. You know, you can't even pat him on the head and say good piggy.
Your barren wombs. Jared and David Weiss have been on a show recently talking Flat Earth, probably trying to get some extra followers from Flat Earth type topic. Well, he emailed me. I never emailed him back, so he's probably trying to fuck me now. But see, those guys, it's not about them fucking me. They want me to fuck them. That's why it's so creepy. That's why they...
Everyone wants you to fuck them, huh, Owen? Everyone wants Big Bear Dick. Is that what it is? Ma-dick. Ma-dick nationalism. Cynic Chief in the chat. Oh dear, Owen Jr. got eaten by coyotes. At least now there's more money for Bertaria. I mean, shoot the fucking coyotes. Again, I don't even like if I was in his place, I'd be like, well, I'd like to rather get a fence. I don't particularly want to kill these coyotes. I just, they can't be on my property, hurting my animals. And if the fence don't work, then okay. The next option is, all right. Sorry, coyote. You got to go. I feel bad when, because this is I live out in the country, obviously. So you know what? I get mice. I get mice sometimes. And you got to lay out a mouse trap. Now, I like to lay out those ones, really old style ones. Like from a Tom and Jerry cartoon, where the bar comes and snaps his neck. Like some people will do like those glue traps. What a horrifying fucking thing that is. Like the poor little fuck. Nah, man, I want that nice big old bar to come down. I want Mr. Mouse to be fucking nibbling on a little piece of cheese, having a grand old fucking time, and then boom, lights out. Didn't feel a thing. But you know what? I feel slightly bad when I got to kill the mouse. If I could snap my fingers and harmlessly teleport him somewhere far, far away where he's not in my fucking house, spreading disease, you know, fucking shitting in the wall or something, you know, chewing up my fucking house. If I could do that, I'd do that, but I can't. So unfortunately, he's got to go. All right. But I feel a little bad about it, you know? I feel a little bad about it. Usually I got a burn pile for yard waste out there, and I usually burn a bag of paper trash in it. Sometimes I'll throw them on the bag of paper trash if it just happens to, you know, if I have a full bag, I'll give a little fucker a Viking funeral, you know? If not, I just throw them in the compost pile and, you know, push some grass over them or something. But it's just a little mouse. Who cares? But I still feel bad for it. You know? I'm a big old softy who would rather catch a spider and shoo it outside than squish it. So in the chat says you can use wolf urine on the fence and it repels them pretty well. You can buy it online. But yeah, there's plenty of ways to get coyotes off your property. You know, but I bet this idiot didn't even finish his fucking fence. Remember that shitty fence he was building a couple years ago? He's like, look at me, I'm building a fence. It fucking looks like a retard's putting it together. A Viking funeral. The free folk would be proud. That's right. Mr. Mouse dies with honor. He died an honorable death. That's so insane. It's so stupid. Somebody in the chat asked Matt Forney why Terror House isn't on Amazon, and Matt Forney reiterates that it is on Amazon. But yes, Terror House books are on Amazon. Soon my Gentle Femdom erotica will be on Amazon. It's the story of Taylor Swift and the Pokemon universe training a very special Bulbasaur. It's going to be very tasteful. You're all going to love it. What a shitbag. I don't care about the animals on my farm. What a shithead.
They like ankle bite and they go, oh, I made a clip. Come chase me down, fuck me. I'm like, because what they're banking on is that they get someone real drunk and fired up. Because rage can be transferred to sex really easily. That's why it confuses a lot of fighters.
What? Can we back that up?
About a show recently talking Flat Earth, probably trying to get some extra followers from Flat Earth type topic. Well, he emailed me. I never emailed him back, so he's probably trying to fuck me now. But see, those guys, it's not about them fucking me. They want me to fuck them. That's why it's so creepy. That's why they like ankle bite and they go, oh, I made a clip. Come chase me down, fuck me. I'm like, because what they're banking on is that they get someone real drunk and fired up. Because rage can be transferred to sex really easily. That's why it confuses a lot of fighters. That's why UFC becoming homoerotic is so fucked up. Because if
what? Oh, boy. What? I don't even know what to say to that. So he says, I'll buy Pokey Femdom. Well, good. We got at least one book sale. It's gonna be very tasteful. You'll see. Very tasteful stuff. We're all about class here at the Beckloff Show. Boy. What?
the guy's like beating on somebody and then
Forney, if it's not too late, you want to hop on for a bit? Feel free. I'll send you a link if you want. Hang on a second. Good God, man. But yeah, let me know if you want on. Oh, good God. This man is insane.
And Lift the Veil is just like, he plumps up his ass and he's like, oh no, don't fuck. And then it's like, what's happening? Why am I fucking this guy? That's what he's counting on. That's his entire sex life. And meanwhile, you know, his wife is just like, I thought I scored a home run. I thought I scored a fucking home run. I thought that I just found the perfect man who just likes to work out and save himself and calls out the monsters. He's not calling out the monsters. He's just trying to hide. Gays love the hate. Oh, yeah. And then...
He's not calling out the monsters. He's just trying to hide. Oh, and I think you're tipping your hand a bit there.
And then they like seeing like the quote unquote straight guy who's confused now. It's like, what did you make me do? Why did you give me all that ecstasy and then try and fight me? And then before I knew it, I was just fucking something. I didn't know it was you. And he's like petting his cat. It's like, oh my God, my cat's dead. And he's like, oh, I fucked the cat by accident too. And then they're like,
what? What the fuck? He thinks this is like some sort of relatable, normal thing. That, oh, he gives the straight guy ecstasy, and then the straight guy fucks the gay guy, and then the gay guy is laughing about it, petting his cat, but it turns out the cat is dead because the straight guy fucked the cat too. Nigga, what? People consider this man a moral and spiritual leader. Is this something you did once, Owen? You got high on ecstasy and fucked a gay guy and his cat? I mean, I've done some shit I ain't proud of. But I ain't never fucked a cat. I mean, I'll swear on a stack of Bibles on that one. Ain't never fucked a cat, let alone fucked one to death. Although I guess a cat's pretty small. It's probably not hard to fuck it to death. I haven't really thought about how hard... Right now is the first time in my life I'm thinking about how hard it would be to fuck a cat to death. So, you know, I can't say I've done the math. What the fuck do you even say to this? Fuck it, man. I'm gonna make... I want to take some callers. Forney, Luke, anyone, message me on Skype. I will bring you in. I want to talk to some sane motherfuckers. I need to cleanse the palate. Okay? After the straight man who fucks a cat to death story, I think I need to fucking cleanse the palate. So let's go ahead and get a Hangouts here. All right. Good God. Anyone else, message me on Skype. I'll send you a link. Anyone else want to call in? I need to talk to sane fucking people now. I'm tapping out. I can't do any more Owen tonight. Not after that. I'm tapping out, folks. I can't. I'm sorry. I know people have been very generous with donations tonight, and I appreciate that. I can't anymore after that. Yeah, you know what they want to do? They want to give me ecstasy, and they want to make me fuck him in the butthole, and then they want to make me fuck the cat, and they'll be petting the cat like, haha, I made you fuck him. But then they realize the cat's dead because I fucked the cat. My God. Oh, Owen has such sights to show us. Oh, who's texting me? Who's messaging me? Good God. Oh, man. What the fuck? Sorry, folks. Had to respond to a message there. It's very important stuff. Somebody says if it's sane people you need, I'm out. Well, sane compared to Owen Benjamin, I guess. Oh. That, I don't even know what to say. What the fuck can you say to that? My God. Alright, doesn't look like we have any callers. I don't know, maybe I'll wrap this up here soon. We've been going on for an hour and a half. I'm at a loss. And again, this is all this fantastical story he is sure is going to happen is all the result of the fact that somebody laughed at him. Because it's just come up with anything in your fucking head other than the fact that maybe people laughed at you for a reason. My God. Thinking Chief wants to call in. Alright, cool. I'll send you a link. I'll send it to you on the old Discord. That might be easier. Good God. I'm at a loss. What a fucking asshole. I messaged you on Discord, then sending a Chief with a link to the Hangouts. Forney Luke, if you're listening, I messaged you guys too. Hangouts link on Skype. People send that man money. Oh, what's going on in the chat that I missed? Good Lord. Oh, Spice Weasel wants on. Like I said, I'll take callers at this point. Good God. Oh. I need to talk to somebody that isn't fantasizing about fucking a cat to death. I need that. That's something you normally take for granted. Uh-oh. Hang on a second. It's not working. Okay, all right. It is working, all right. Kick me out for a second. But yeah, that link should be good. Cheesing would not be as bad. You remember that from South Park? Yeah, no shit. Like that's relatively sane. When everybody cheesed it in South Park, the cat urine to get high. Does Black Cat or Tigra from Marvel count? Well, okay, that's a little different. Tigra is legitimately part cat person though, so like she's actually hairy and probably has like a sandpaper tongue, so that's maybe a little weird. But Black Cat's just a chick in a cat suit. Oh, good God. Who you got in the chat? Spice Weasel, what's on your mind?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
And thank you very much for the donation. Sorry I read the wrong amount there. I legitimately didn't see that. And also, I legitimately am not ever expecting somebody to do that. So I'm sure like my brain was just like, yeah, that's $10, right?
Well, you are very welcome.
Oh, good God. People consider Owen Benjamin a leader. I don't know what to say about that. Like, people are like, yes, he will lead us to the glorious utopia. This sociopath who's apparently fantasizing about fucking a cat to death.
I am at a loss for words.
And they're like, yes, this is the good Christian caring man who will lead us to. Why are Christians so terrible at picking leaders? God, we are fucking terrible at that. Everyone who becomes a big fucking leader in Christendom seems to be the worst fucking person imaginable. It's all James McDonald and pedo priests.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's not even just like limited to Catholicism.
No, I mean I shit on them for that, but it's like we got all these James McDonalds and shit, and the fucking Ted Haggards and whatnot. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's funny you're talking about James McDonald because Harvest Bible was literally like right up the road from where I lived. And it's almost like this big secretive compound that's like across the street from a Home Depot.
Jeez, I bet it's
very weird.
The moment my church got involved with them, there was just a change in the spirit of just that organization. Like instantly, everything's a lot more authoritarian. Everything's a lot fucking grosser, and it just. Oh man, I am very proud to say I saw through that guy very quickly. I called it on him. Yeah, it's not just the Catholics. Like the Catholic Church, there's more of a systemic structural problem where they don't really even have the means to correct bad leadership. But it's, over here on shall we say the freer end of Christianity where we can just pick our leaders, we're still picking the shitty ones.
Well, it's gotten bad in the Catholic Church where my mom, who is, has been diehard Italian Catholic, has had enough. And like she's going to a Lutheran church now.
I can't imagine. Like I said, I mean, at least over here as a Protestant, I don't even like using that term really, but I can just say, okay, well, this leader's full of shit. I'm gonna leave. Like, I just go find another church. This is bullshit. Like, I don't have to be here. I don't have to. I don't know. I guess it's just that aspect with like so many people that are religious tend to have that aspect where they want an authoritarian to tell them what to do, so they just get attracted to these sociopaths. I mean, I had Steve Brown sign a book once because he was, in Philly at some speaking conference. I couldn't get anybody else in my church to go. Nobody fucking heard of him. But James McDonald back in the day come into town, and they're dragging me along for this thing where you got to wait 3 hours in line just to like have him sign a book. It's ridiculous. It's like they saw the exact same things I saw in him. They saw an authoritarian fucking bully, and they liked it. That's the sad thing about it. I mean, they spent years watching him bully the fuck out of people, and it wasn't until he said a naughty word, and just blatantly crossed the line that they were finally like, okay, well, we're going to quietly pretend like we were never associated with him. Sinigan Chief, what's on your mind?
Just in playing Borderlands on the Switch and watching you lose it to Owen.
I couldn't, dude. I had to tap out.
This is why we like you to watch his videos because, frankly, Davis is boring, whereas Owen is just an utter trash fire.
Well, part of the issue now let's be a little fair to Davis's quality as a locale. I'm watching a channel, Milker Nation, that takes Owen's 3-hour rambling stream of bullshit and whittles it down to like 40 minutes. You know what I mean? And trust me, if somebody did that with Davis, if somebody had the time and the patience to do that with Davis, it would be just as much gold. Now,
yes
you
and
might
no.
not have as long of videos because Davis just has so much dead air. He doesn't have the same manic energy as Owen. But if you really just whittled it down to you wouldn't have as much gold to pan out of a Davis stream, but it's there. And if somebody only presented the gold, Argent does that a little bit with the Sigma channel, but he doesn't necessarily take a whole stream and just cut out the dead parts and here's all the good parts together. He doesn't do exactly what Milker Nation does. And if somebody did that for Davis, I would never need to search for content again between the two of them.
Well, yeah, the thing about Davis is he doesn't go on long rants like that. I mean, Davis would have a lot of gold if he had all of his old stuff still up. You could go through and sift through hours and hours of that in the past.
And
But
Davis
Argent's
with
trying to-
Hadron is a lot more gold. Cause
Oh,
somebody
I was going to say maybe with Hadron coming back, you'll be able to get some of those golden
Well,
moments.
maybe. I mean, I hope she comes back. She's all like, oh, your old friends all hated me. And I'm sitting there like the Joker with Batman. And I'm like, no, Hadron, I wanted this to go on forever. What am I going to do? Go back to... no, you complete me. Hadron was funny. Hadron's funnier than Davis. The Free Folk, the rest of those guys are fucking funnier than Davis.
Hadron's the real lol cow of the two. Davis is just a lol calf. He wants to be a lol cow, but he's not quite that big.
Her and fucking Furburger and fucking Gengar, their streams are great. Because they're literally fucking trying to summon Thor and bullshit in the middle of their stream. It's amazing.
Free burger.
I was getting Free Folk and Furburger mixed up in my head there, but no, I shouldn't say his actual name. It's not, but his internet name is Borburker or Borborker or something. I don't even know, Borvorker or something like that. I don't even know how to pronounce his stupid name. And then she's Hadroon with some fucking letter that ain't part of the English language anymore.
It doesn't even represent something really interesting. I think I looked it up a while back what that actually meant, but it's something to do with oh damn it, I can't.
Doesn't her name come from a goat that lactates beer?
It was something like that.
Greek mythology is pretty fucked up, but it's not as bad as Norse mythology. Norse mythology is a whole bunch of fucked up, perverted, disgusting bullshit. You see the bullshit Marvel stuff and it's oh, Thor's a hero. Yeah, Thor in Marvel Comics is a hero. Thor in mythology, not so much.
It's a goat that consumes foliage from a tree and produces mead.
I mean, she's got the goat part, right? And she probably consumes foliage, so 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf said. Somebody in the chat, doesn't Black Cat have super soldier serum in her? No, she doesn't. At one point, she had a quote-unquote power of being able to produce bad luck. She had a slight unconscious probability altering power where she could sort of produce general bad luck to people around her, like a black cat. I don't know if she still has that power or not. She was dating Spider-Man at the time, and he broke up with her when he found out that she paid a bunch of black alley fucking mobsters to give her that power with bullshit Hydra science or something like that. She went all shady to go get that power because she felt all subconscious, having a boyfriend with superpowers when she didn't have any.
Well, Hydron has the same power. She caused all kinds of bad luck for Davis when they got together. Davis had her on a show, and all of a sudden his YouTube channel disappears, and everybody's warning him that she's a a witch who wants to set up some kind of folk building, and then talks to Thor and all this other weird stuff, and then all Davis's friends are gone. And
Well, if you read comic books, it's like you're hanging out with people that worship an Avenger. I don't know that you have the high ground here, Davis. You also broke up with your girlfriend, according to yourself, because she got in the way of your mission, like you're fucking Batman.
well, his mission is sitting on the chair, drinking apple juice and smoking cigarettes.
Toronto needs me. Or what the fuck's it? Calvary. I'm sorry, he's in Calvary. I don't know all those cities in Canada. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Hydron has been pretty bad luck for Davis.
I don't know. Davis is bad luck for Davis.
It's amazing how you don't seem to get your life in order when you refuse to have a job. I mean, I'm not exactly happy where my life is, particularly at this exact moment. But I mean, I'm able to hold down a job. That's normally not something I feel the need to brag about either. That's like bragging about the fact that you wipe your ass. But, you know, when you're around somebody that can't or won't do it, suddenly you feel a little fucking bit of pride. Like what was that guy that the Revenge of the Sith were fighting with? That autistic guy that like shits his pants, like he wears diaper, the Andy Ditch or whatever. Like suddenly, you know, you when you're beefing with Andy Ditch, suddenly you're proud of the fact that you did duty in the potty. like that's suddenly your high ground. That's all the high ground you need. So yeah, whenever I argue with Davis, or if I'm shitting on Davis or something, or if he shits on me, I have the high ground of Davis. I can hold down a job.
Well, and for me personally, I'm married and have a kid, so I have actually done more for Western civilization than Davis could ever dream of.
You're more trad than Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, Spice Weasel, you've done more for Western civilization than either of us have.
You're living the trad life over here.
And I wonder if Davis would see it because I married a Catholic girl too.
Uh-oh. See, he was gonna marry an Asian girl, but then she wanted him to get a job. He goes on so much about like, I'm a trad man and I'm the man of the relationship. I'm in charge. Well, it's like, you know, you have to have a job if you want that position, right? Provider is the other side of that coin, okay? You can't be the trad husband who's in charge while also wanting mommy GF to fucking pay your bills. It doesn't work that way. Kind of got to pick a side there, buddy.
Matt, if you want to correct Beckloff's pronunciation, get in here and into the call.
Uh-oh. What's Matt saying there? Calgary. Calvary is in the... Okay, so it's not Calvary, it's Calgary. Well, again, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not very familiar with what's going on in Canada, okay? Because I don't generally concern myself with baby nations that don't have their flag on the moon. You know, America is the only country that matters.
Well, the place where Davis lives is like Texas, but with an extra chromosome.
You know, I mean, remember the Clerks cartoon where they're like the fabled land of Canada, long thought uninhabitable by civilized man? Matt Forney says, I'm working. Well, Matt Forney is working. He's very caught up in his work, okay? He's got a shift at the McDonald's in whatever third world country he's working. But see there, like, that's actually the best job you could have in that country. So he's got to...
No, his country is so third world, they don't even have McDonald's.
What's he in? What are you in there? Ukraine, Matt? Are you in Ukraine or...
Croatia or Romania or something?
Are you in Latveria?
Like Albania?
Are you in Dr. Doom's country, Latveria? That's why you can't leave?
left Georgia and went to Alabama Stan.
Yeah, Georgia's not a country, it's a state. Damn Europeans ripping off our names. It's like how France ripped off that city's name in Texas. Well, we have a Paris too. That's nice, France. Okay, but you don't matter. You don't have a flag on the moon. Well, actually, I guess technically France does have a flag on the moon now because our flag got bleached white. When he says he's right, there's no Mickey D's. There's only a KFC. There's only a KFC in Latveria because Dr. Doom has a feud with Popeyes.
Well, that was one of the interesting things about KFC when I went up to Quebec, is that they changed the menu for it. So yeah, you still had fried chicken, but they didn't have the mashed potatoes and gravy. I think they had French fries or something like that.
Yeah, they put the mashed potatoes and gravy on the French fries.
KFC is the most ghetto of the chicken places. Actually, I shouldn't say ghetto. That's not the right phrase because
you haven't been to churches.
Lord knows Popeyes can have a very vibrant fucking clientele, but it's the shittiest, is what I meant to say.
And you haven't been to Church's Chicken either.
Okay, I've had Church's Chicken. It's okay, but like, I'm sorry. There's a pretty close neck and neck race between Chick-fil-A and Popeyes for best chicken place. Like, Popeyes has better food when Popeyes is good. The problem is Popeyes doesn't have the same level of quality control. Like, you might have a far better meal at Popeyes than you would at Chick-fil-A, but you're always guaranteed a really good meal at Chick-fil-A.
Well, and Popeyes varies from location to location. They actually just opened one on my end. I mean, I live in a city of about 150,000 people, and they just opened up a Popeyes on my side of town. Before I'd have to go, and
go ahead.
It'd be way better. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some Popeyes you go to, and it's just run terribly, and your onion rings and fries are going to be cold. They're going to be running out of shit. No, like, again, and the service isn't going to be as good. God bless Chick-fil-A. Service is always through the roof. They must pay those people really well, or treat them really well for the standard of that job, because you always get people that seem to give a fuck. And with those low level jobs, it's hard to do because you're not generally paying them enough to give a fuck.
Yeah, having known several people who work at Chick-fil-A, their management is always cracking the whip to get them to work quickly, but they're always very nice, and you don't get the assholes that you do in a lot of the other fast food places.
Yeah,
and
I
the
get
pay
that
is also a
impression.
little bit more.
I get that impression that they're really strict with the employees, but also reward them very well. You know what I mean? Like, they're probably getting like a free meal and stuff each day. Like, I worked at Burger King right out of high school, and they wouldn't even give you a free meal with an 8-hour fucking shift. You got half off a meal if you wanted a meal there.
And I think they offer like $1 an hour or more than the competition usually for Chick-fil-A. But they always hire the nicest, straight-laced people to do even just simple counter work.
Yeah, you're not seeing like a lot of pink-haired, heavily tattooed people at the fucking Chick-fil-A. No.
Yeah, it's like In-N-Out Burger on the West Coast.
When I was a kid, I lived down in Southern Maryland. We had a couple of Popeyes, and I loved Popeyes as a kid. It's funny, like, my dad and I both never liked McDonald's, but every once in a while he'd take me through the McDonald's drive-thru after lunch if I wanted one of the toys there when I was little. He'd like just get a toy through the drive-thru because he figured out you could do that. But I had Popeyes growing up down there. When I moved up here as a teenager, there was no Popeyes like anywhere around. And I remember like going on like a road trip with my buddy, and we were actually going on our way to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. And, we're like, oh, we got to look for a place to eat. And, we're on like the turnpike, and I see the one rest stop has a Popeyes. I'm like, oh, we got to go to Popeyes. He's like, I've never been to Popeyes. I'm like, oh, dude, you're in for a fucking treat. Like, KFC's good, but KFC's dog shit compared to Popeyes. And he's like, all right, I give it a shot. He loved it. Finally, we have Popeyes around here now, but that was only like, good Lord, maybe 8 or 9 years ago we finally got a Popeyes around here.
I also have to thank you for the recommendation on the blackened chicken tenders at Popeyes. They are spectacular.
They are great. And you know what else? They're actually like if you're on a diet or some shit, you can have them. They're fine. Like, I mean, you can't really get any sides or a soda if you're trying to watch what you eat, but you can get the blackened chicken, and it's perfectly fine. And they're actually kind of the best. Like, I like their spicy tenders, but that blackened chicken is amazing.
I had to give it another shot. Last time I went to Popeyes, I had a really terrible service.
Again, Popeyes is going to be hit or miss with service and quality between locations, but when you get good Popeyes, it's some of the best fast food, man.
If I want chicken, I almost always go to just over to Zaxby's.
I mean, Chick-fil-A is really good too, but problem is Chick-fil-A is just because, again, a little less now because they bent the knee to BLM and all. But Chick-fil-A is one of those things where everyone to the right of Karl Marx wants to go eat at Chick-fil-A because it's like I'm taking a stand in the culture war and all. Because you can't. Apparently, you're not allowed to have a lunch break from the fucking culture war. So it's always packed in this area. This pretty right-wing, semi-Bible Belt center of the state. You can barely get to Chick-fil-A. Like on a Saturday, you can't get near the place. Especially now with all the fucking reduced seating and shit. Fucking reservation damn near.
I don't go to Chick-fil-A because for whatever reason their food just does not agree with me.
I've always had a good time there. I usually get their spicy chicken sandwich. You got to order the deluxe if you actually want lettuce and tomato on it, but it's usually pretty good.
Yeah,
their
no, I mean
fries are really good.
The food is tasty, but my digestive system doesn't care for it.
I don't know. Do you maybe have an issue with peanuts?
Not that I know of.
Because I was going to say they cook everything in peanut oil.
No, I can eat peanut butter just fine. I have issues in that area, but Chick-fil-A in particular exacerbates it more than others. I don't know.
It might be something with the coating that they have on the chicken too.
Could be.
I don't know. I like Chick-fil-A, but there's always an incredible line at the place, so I just never go to it.
That's what I mean. And part of that, like I said, everybody, it's always remember when Popeyes did their chicken sandwich here recently, and then like everybody's arguing about it versus the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, and everyone's turning into an argument on like what they think about butt sex. And I'm like, can we just like, does everything have to be about that now?
Yes,
Owen Benjamin says yes, it does.
Well, yeah, Owen Benjamin, it's always about butt sex, but generally, I just want a chicken sandwich. I don't want to make a fucking statement on abortion or gay rights or any other fucking thing. I just want some lunch.
Well, we just passed the most sacred month on the corporate liturgical calendar, so.
And like I said, I don't even like it when they're like agreeing with me, and it's still like, it's all like virtue signaling and grandstanding. It's like, just make me my fucking sandwich. I don't care. I don't care if you're pro-abortion or anti-abortion or pro-gay rights or anti-gay rights. I just want a fucking sandwich.
That's why I like
Shut
Subway.
up.
The Indians who work there don't give a shit about any of that.
Or the sheets around Beckloff. They don't care.
God, Sheetz is damn good food. You can't get better food at 10 in the morning, or 1 in the morning, I mean. That's for sure.
I've done that before. Camped out in a Sheets parking
a lot
lot,
of them,
and then go on.
Eat in places now, like dine in. I mean, now with the gay COVID shit, a lot of them now don't. But generally, most of the new ones have a dine-in area.
Didn't you used to go in and just order on the screen, and then they
They call you when your
counter.
order's ready. But a lot of them now, you can then there's a little spot inside where there's some tables and all. You can sit down and eat it there.
Yeah, I've eaten several times at the Sheets outside of Knoebels, middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Sheetz is good food, especially late at night. You can't beat it. It's funny, the one Christmas, I usually go over to my one aunt's for Christmas, and she cooks a lot of that country kitchen food that I don't particularly like in the first place, and she's not a particularly good cook to begin with. And the one year, even by her standards, she kind of ruined it. So I wasn't eating anything there, and I was making excuses like, "Oh, I had a lot of cookies and candy earlier today. I'm just not hungry," being polite. And then when we were done, I'm driving my dad home, and he's like, "Wait, where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm going over to Sheetz." He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "'Cause I'm fucking starving." I want some food.
Although Spice Beazle mentioned it, In-N-Out has far better burgers.
I don't think I've ever had In-N-Out.
It's West Coast only.
Yeah, I think this is Texas is as far east as they go.
You know what used to be really good is, and I haven't had them in forever, but you ever been to Checkers?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Checkers used to have they used to have a Cajun Champ burger. It's fucking awesome.
It's weird. Like they came into the Midwest for a while, they left, and now they're coming back, and I'm super excited about that.
They've always had a Checkers rallies around here, so that
I would always get that when I go to Florida on vacation.
Hardee's is really good
stuff.
too, or what's the other, Carl's Jr. It's called in some places. And man, when I was a kid, Hardee's was fucking disgusting.
Yes.
Oh man, I remember late '80s, early '90s. Hardee's was fucking gross. But Hardee's is great now. There's a lot of fast food joints I remember being just gross when I was a kid, and it wasn't just that like, oh, you're a kid, you're picky, you're eater. I mean, like, objectively, like they were gross. You know what I mean? Like, even
Taco
my dad
Bell.
would be like, yeah, Taco Bell's another one. God, I remember like 2003-ish. My girlfriend, we were gonna get some Burger King. She's like, no, let's go to Taco Bell, and I looked at her like she was fucking insane. I'm like, what? Nobody can eat at Taco Bell. What are you talking about? She goes, no, they're really good. I'm like, fine, shut you up. And I go in there and like, I look around at like the menu. And I'm like, this looks a lot better than I remember.
Yeah, from like 1990 to about 2005, Taco Bell was just gross.
Yeah, it was about 2003, I think, when I hopped in. I remember late 80s and early 90s Taco Bell being just disgusting. Taco Bell, Arby's was another one that was just fucking gross back in the day. Arby's was nothing but fucking old people food back in the day.
Oh, yeah, I always loved Arby's.
Arby's has seriously upgraded since then.
Yeah, Arby's is oddly enough. I go to Arby's a lot for their, I guess, gyro or whatever. It's the only place I can get some decent Greek food around here, aside from like one Greek place that doesn't have dine-in and it's nowhere near me. So it's like I got to take this food, a 30-minute drive home. It's like the only place I can get a decent gyro around here.
Yeah. So we have a ton of Greek places around where I live, so I'm not hurting for that. But I did actually have one at Arby's, and I was pleasantly surprised.
When I used to do that comic book stand at the at that flea market on Saturdays, and they weren't even there every week, and it would break my heart. But there was a Greek place in there that was just amazing, and I just always did that for like lunch when we were there. Like that was, it was $5.05 for the either the gyro or the Greek salad, and I always just right around 11 pull a $5 bill and a nickel out of the register. I'm like, I'm getting lunch.
You still can't beat Arby's roast beef and curly fries.
Oh dear God, no.
I love the 3 pepper sauce they have, like to dip the fries in.
Yeah, that's really good.
And not every Arby's has it. Like some just have the horsey sauce and the Arby's sauce. Like it's like 50% of the Arby's have the 3 pepper sauce for some reason.
Well, I'll take my roast beef sandwich, open up the top, and then drizzle that 3 pepper sauce on the middle of it, and then put it on. It's fantastic like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and they got those jalapeno poppers that instead of like cheddar cheese, it's like cream cheese in them, and it comes with this Bronco berry sauce. It's like it's a spicy raspberry sauce. It's so fucking good. Oh my God, those are good.
Yeah.
They have significantly upgraded their menu over the past decade.
Yeah. What sucks is I live in a fairly large city, and we don't have one goddamn Arby's. The closest Arby's is a 30-minute drive.
It was like the early 2000s that like a lot of these restaurants just decided like, hey, let's stop selling terrible food. They had the brilliant idea of like, let's have good food. And a lot of other restaurants, like that was when McDonald's changed like the shake formula to actually be somewhat thick. Like McDonald's right around that time decided, let's have good milkshakes. Like a lot of places just upped their game right around the early 2000s.
Well, yeah. Once you hit a recession, you kind of have to do something to bring people back in.
Burger King's in fucking rough shape though right now.
Mm-hmm.
Burger King for like the past 5 years or something, it's just always fucking sucked.
I would say, Burger King is probably the worst of the major fast food chains right now. I have, my God, I haven't eaten there in at least 5 years.
A couple of years ago, Burger King did something for Halloween called the Haunted Whopper. And it was a black, it had some sort of sauce with it, I can't remember, but the bun was black, right? And it's supposedly because it had an A1 sauce, that's what it was, because supposedly the bun had A1 sauce baked into it, right? And it was good. It wasn't mind-blowing and great or anything, but it was good. But it had a little problem that became a social media frenzy. I want to say this was like 2015. It gave everyone very, very green shits. And like that happened to me, and I'm like, oh good God, am I sick or something? And then I'm like, what did I eat yesterday? And I kind of look online, and like that was like trending on Twitter, which wasn't a hashtag you wanted to click on because some people felt the need to share pictures of their BM. But yeah, that became a little bit of a disaster for Burger King.
It's the food dye they used. That's happened a couple other places with certain type of food dye.
Like sometimes you could have a green shit because you're sick, but this was yeah, it was some sort of dye. It had to have been.
Yeah, I've had Taco Bell's. I think they called it like pitch black tacos or midnight tacos or something like that. Again, during fall, and they had the hard shell tacos completely dyed black. And then they put some of their spicy Baja sauce on it. Those are some of the best tacos I've ever had at Taco Bell.
Why would they go through all that trouble when they could just use like blue corn tortillas? And not have
I
to
don't
put
know
any
why.
food dye or crap in it.
You know, Taco Bell is owned by the same company that, at least it was. This could have broken up since then, but it was owned by the same company that owned Pizza Hut and
KFC.
And KFC. I remember actually
Long
one
John's.
place I lived, there was a restaurant that was all three of them, and like everybody that worked there called it Kentucky Hut. It wasn't the official name, but like you would go up to the counter and it'd be like, "Welcome to Kentucky Hut," and there would be like it wasn't just you could order KFC, Taco Bell, or Pizza Hut. You could order like combo meals that were combinations of all of them. Like you get Pizza Hut breadsticks with your Taco Bell quesadilla as part of a combo meal kind of thing.
Yeah, they own what's left of Long John Silver's too.
But I remember the one year they did like some sort of super quesadilla at Taco Bell, and whatever they used for the breading part of the quesadilla, you know, the tortilla part was the same stuff they make the KFC biscuits out of. Like it had the exact same taste and consistency. It just thinner, obviously. So basically, imagine a quesadilla made out of a fucking KFC biscuit.
They're actually all owned by Pepsi, which is why you get the specialty Mountain Dews at the KFC and Taco Bell.
Yeah, I know. Well, when I worked at Pizza Hut back in the day, like fucking 99, 2000, they were owned by a company called Tricor, which Pepsi had a 45% stake in.
Mm-hmm. Pepsi bought them all up, named it Yum Foods, and then put different specialty Mountain Dews to try and get people into the store. So, like, you have Baja Blast at the Taco Bell's and a new peach honey Mountain Dew called Sweet Lightning at the KFC's.
Pepsi was just doing its version of Sprite, which I'm not even sure if they still make, Sierra Mist, at the time that I worked there. And we had like a promo, like everybody that got a medium pizza or more at the drive-thru or carryout, we gave them a can of Sierra Mist for free.
Oh, that was pretty sweet.
It was like Sierra Mist, then they changed it to something else, and they brought it back to Sierra Mist because they realized that was incredibly stupid.
It was pretty good. I mean, as far as clear sodas go, it's better than Sprite. Sprite just tastes like sugar water. Like Sprite is garbage. Like 7-Up's really good. 7-Up's the best clear soda on the market. But like Sprite is the kind of thing you get when there's like nothing else at the soda machine. Like if every other option at the soda machine looks terrible to you, you're like, I guess I can choke down a Sprite.
I wish Pepsi would come out with those I forgot what Coke calls them, but the one that has like the touch screen where you can put all kinds of crazy stuff together.
That's the one time I actually do get a Sprite, because I'll get a Sprite that's like half Sprite with peach and half Sprite with strawberry, and it's fucking amazing.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's weird because that's the only way you can get Barq's root beer that's not caffeinated.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I didn't either until recently.
I'd love it if Pepsi did those machines too, though. Like, or if like 7-Up and Dr. Pepper got in on one of those machines, like get some 7-Up with strawberry or peach flavor. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, or like different A&W flavors.
Or like Wendy's does it. Like they have their special. A lot of restaurants have specialty blends that are on that machine. Like you can get a Morita at Moe's kind of thing. But Wendy's has like really good like cherry cream soda blend at those machines. Real quick, I got a super chat from Duke of Tumwater, who sends $1 and says, why do you say Catholics don't have a good work ethic? Well, let me put it this way. Up here in North America, the United States and Canada were founded by Protestants. South America was settled by Catholics. And South America is almost entirely a second world, at best, pit of ass. Just throwing that out there as something, a little historical fact. But no, Catholics don't have a fucking work ethic compared to Protestants. That's just a fact. Again, it's not... The phrase is Protestant work ethic for a reason. Now, not all X. Yes, I know not all X. Okay? No one is saying all X. You can point to a million Catholics that have great work ethics. You can point to a million Protestants that are lazy as fuck. I'm lazy as fuck. I'm lazy as the day is long. You think I want to go to work? Fuck no. I go because they pay me. But trust me, if the old Powerball ticket pans out this weekend, I ain't going to work. I ain't going back to work Monday. But generally speaking, Protestants have... This is just... A casual glance at history will tell you this. This is just the fact. Okay, there's a reason a Protestant nation created the greatest prosperity, and innovation the world had ever seen. All right? It wasn't Catholics that put a flag on the moon. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's largely related to the different cultures that are largely Catholic versus largely Protestant. The more Protestant ones are further north, where people have to be harder working because you've got the cold winters.
Yeah, but even in Europe, like, the more Protestant nations, once Protestantism became a thing, were the ones that were a little more driven. A little less sitting on ass.
Well, and even in like the quasi first world, Catholic nations in Europe, Italy, Spain, don't they get 20 weeks of paid vacation and only work 20 hours a week?
I mean, part of that, I would say, is the Protestant kind of, and I hate even saying Protestant because it's such a broad term that is almost broad enough to mean nothing. But for the sake of argument, the sort of Protestant, really what Protestantism brought to the world was a sense of personal liberty and personal autonomy. And, we're not all just subject to the king and the pope and all this other bullshit. And that brings with it prosperity. People want to work a lot harder when they're working for themselves rather than being some mud farmer for the glory of the Pope. When they're working and saying, I can have the ability to lift myself up. People work a lot harder, A lot of the corporatism and the shutting down of opportunities to be entrepreneurs and to be your own man is part of, I would stress, why we're losing to work ethic now. Nobody works their butt off to make a corporation richer. They work their butt off to make themselves and their family richer.
Yeah, that does play a pretty big...
Forney says, who could forget such hardworking Protestant nations as Zimbabwe, Botswana, South Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo? Well, I would point out that those nations have a different thing in common. But also, I would also point out that when Protestants and not fucking witch doctors ruled South Africa, it was quite the prosperous nation. Just throwing that out there. You do a reaction on the Smithsonian's display of whiteness? I did not, but I came downstairs a couple days ago to my dad watching something on... We have Roku now with all streaming services, but there's a free Smithsonian streaming service he added on there. And he's watching some fucking documentary of World War II and the aftermath of it that was straight up communist propaganda. And even he was like, I'd heard about this, but I'd never watched it yet. This is just utter horseshit. You know, about how after World War II we were so mean to those fucking commies that didn't do nothing. So yeah, I don't take seriously the fucking Smithsonian on anything right now.
Well, they are based out of Washington D.C., and there's really nothing good in Washington D.C.
Duke of Tumwater donates $3 and says, "Does the sudden surge of trad cat YouTubers worry you at all insofar as an indication of the country's direction?" I would say I'm not particularly happy with the surge of Catholicism and Orthodoxy. I don't think it's as big as, you know, being on YouTube would lead you to believe, but there's something of a resurgence of it. Or I shouldn't even say resurgence of it, because, you know, neither really had anything to do with this country being great. But part of that is because, you know, I mean, look, there's a reason James MacDonald was one of the most popular Protestant figures in this country. And that's because a lot of people want a fucking authoritarian daddy to tell them what to do. That's not what Christianity is about. You know, latching on to some fucking leader who's going to boss you around. But that's what a lot of people want. And those things are just a lot more fundamentally present in Catholicism and Orthodoxy. That legalism, that authoritarianism. It's obviously present in Protestantism, but it's a lot more of a bug than a feature. So yeah, I'm not surprised that, you know, in this fucking leftist chaos and all, somebody wants some authoritarian fucking daddy to save the day for him, and that's what a lot of it is.
Well, and a lot of Protestantism is left wing, Episcopal Church, a lot of Lutherans,
Yeah,
etc.
there's a lot of those, but those are generally dead branches. I kind of the real relevant sort of branches of Protestantism are basically non-denominational at this point. I mean, you know, Irini would call them all Baptists because he's an idiot. But you know, I wouldn't say evangelical because that means something else, but just generally what everyone would consider evangelical.
But if you're outside of Christendom looking at something that's not paused, you'd gravitate towards one of the traditional branches of Christianity and away from Protestantism simply because of the mainstream being so left wing.
Oh yeah, and again, people want, because of all the bullshit that's going on, and it is bullshit, people want that security blanket of tradition. Now, the problem with that is that they can very easily find religion but not God. It's very, very easy to do that. And I just think that's what a lot of them are doing.
And you're going to see as...
Roosh is the best example of that. And look, Roosh is... I don't even... A lot of people think I hate Roosh and I've turned on Roosh or something. I mean, first of all, I never had much of a relationship with him, other than the fact that, you know, he paid me $10 an article at Reaction. And was a very nice boss for the most part. But... I'm sorry, Roosh is kind of just hollow. And that's why everything with him is the surface and the appearance of it all. I mean, you know, I read that article on here. Roosh apparently didn't even fucking like sex back when that was the cornerstone of his life. And I genuinely believe that his newfound faith is every bit as hollow as his hedonism was. I mean, that's a man that devoted himself to getting laid and didn't even like fucking. I can't think of a sadder thing to be. And now he's a man that's devoted himself to every external trapping of religion, and I suspect that it's every bit as hollow as it was before.
Do you suspect that he really didn't like sex, or that he's trying to rewrite past history with his newfound faith?
You know, again, Roosh isn't somebody that I ever analyzed a great deal. I never gave much of a shit about him. So I can't say that I followed him a great deal. It was just somebody that ran in similar circles as me politically and, you know, internet-wise and all that kind of stuff. But when I read that article, it rang true. it rang true that that's really what it was with him. That it was about that he didn't want to. He wasn't interested in banging the hot chick. He was interested in being able to say he banged the hot chick. Just the way he described sex and all, and I'm like, not only did Roosh never love any of those women, which he's admitted to, I don't think he ever really enjoyed any of them, which is a horrifying thought. It's a like, again, not hate, pity. That is a pitiable thought.
Yeah, I could see that. Even if you like the sex, you don't particularly care for the person at all.
I mean, look, everyone likes coming, okay? Roosh liked coming, okay? Nobody doesn't like coming, okay? Maybe 3 people in the entire history of our species have ever been like, oh no, I'm coming.
One of those being Owen Benjamin.
Perhaps. Yeah, Roosh liked to come. Everybody likes to come, okay? But, like, I don't know about you, but I like sex, okay? Like, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I figured this out when I was, like, fucking 11, but you don't actually have to have sex to come. I don't know if you know this, but, like, you can actually stimulate your own dick to orgasm. Pretty simple. I'm not gonna explain it, but if you're really confused, you can look it up. Point is, you don't have to have, like, you can just jack your dick off if all it is getting the poison out. Like, but I actually like sex. I like making a woman come. That's pretty fucking rad. Roosh outright said, I didn't give a shit if she came. As long as I lasted a couple of minutes to get a good nut, I was happy. That's fucking sad. That's just really sad.
And if you can let him in on a little secret too, it's even better when it's with a woman you've decided to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah, not to sound all faggy, but like, Roosh certainly never made love. Okay, he's certainly never been in love. He certainly, yeah, you know, if you could settle down and find a fucking wife and be, you know, be having all sorts of wild sex with her, that's that right there is the goal. But yeah, you never been in love, man. Like, it's sad.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out with Roosh and his newfound religion.
I don't know. I think it's all. And part of that is because I certainly don't have a particularly high opinion of those more legalistic branches of Christianity, but it just strikes me as hollow. It strikes me as every bit as hollow as his hedonism.
Well, and I'm trying to differentiate if he's just going at it from the legalistic point of view, or if he is a new convert who is letting his zeal get away with him.
I don't know, man. I keep coming back to that word, but it just strikes me as hollow. You know, and just like the way he described, like, you know, be disgusted by oral sex. Like, a penis doesn't go in a mouth. That's unnatural. And I'm like, you know, well then, is kissing unnatural? I mean, what the fuck? You know, there's no reproductive purpose to kissing. You know, oh, you shouldn't put your mouth on another person's mouth. A mouth is for eating. And you could be like, well, kissing produces bonding hormones and all, but I mean, so does getting your dick sucked. So does eating pussy. I mean, like, you know, but if you've turned to this weird, cold, mechanical thing that sex is just for making babies, then yeah, I guess kissing is wrong.
Yeah, and the Catholics usually deal with that by prohibiting it, but then just letting it slide whenever it happens.
Well,
They're more of the
Catholic Church wants you to have a bunch of kids you can't afford because they don't give a fuck about you. They just want to boost their power and numbers. I mean, that's the stone cold truth of it. That is why they have been anti-birth control, anti any sort of family planning the entirety of their existence. They don't give a shit about you. You know, you're cattle for them. Make more.
And the Catholics are more prone to just broad prohibitions and then just not enforcing this and that and the other, sort of like our legal system does nowadays. You have prosecutorial discretion.
We're going to be
Whereas
very, very legalistic about sex, and we're also going to ignore the priest raping a little boy.
Whereas Protestants tend to spend a lot of time catfighting over the details of this prohibition or that allowance.
And Catholics are going to require you to go to, go to like marriage training sessions that are hosted by a freaking priest. And I know because my wife and I had to do that.
See, I couldn't do that. I'd just be like, every time he tells you, like, "Yo, do this," I'd be like, "Oh, cool. Is that what you did with your wife?"
Oh yeah, we pretty much ignored it.
Or at this point, I'd be like, "Is that what you did with little Timmy?" Is that what you do when you and little Timmy are having a fight? Do you buy him a new Fortnite game or whatever the fuck kids like that? Should I buy my wife the new Fortnite? Would she fight with me? Is that your advice?
Only she marry the right girl.
I swear to God, though, if she does that dance, I'll divorce her.
The thing is, if you marry a nerdy enough girl, she might do both of those.
It's not Fortnite. I mean, come on. You gotta have some taste. Have some fucking standard.
Speaking of cheesy Skinner box games, I highly recommend Borderlands for Switch.
I have somebody at work, and I don't even think I don't even think they work there anymore. They've been calling off so damn much. But they loaned me Diablo 3, I think it was, and Skyrim for the Switch. And I played Skyrim like a little bit, and I don't care. I just can't get into it. And it's funny because I love Breath of the Wild, and everyone's like, "Well, Breath of the Wild's just Skyrim with Zelda stuff," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's got Zelda stuff, so I care. Like, I care about the world of Zelda. I don't give a shit about the world of Skyrim."
But the controls are a bit better in Breath of the Wild versus Skyrim. Skyrim was originally made for PC. It honestly works best on a PC.
Breath of the Wild's biggest problem is it feels... There's elements of it that feel like things should be there and aren't. Like, it really feels like there should be underwater exploration. Like, there's areas where it just feels like you should be able to go in this water, like this water is meant to be explored, and you just can't. And it feels like there's almost a crafting system there that was never quite implemented. Like, it really feels like it should have a crafting system more than just cooking stuff, you know?
Almost like it needed another 6 months of polish.
I'm really looking forward to the sequel. I feel like that's a genuine chance to truly refine like an absolute masterpiece out of that formula.
I'm just surprised that a lot of mainstream video game companies are now porting a bunch of their old games to the Switch.
Oh yeah,
like
Switch is getting tons of ports.
Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag play awesome on the Switch, way better than on a PC.
Well, I mean, Nintendo spent 2 solid generations being very much out of line with where the other consoles were on a tech level. And I don't think that's an issue because, you know, I'd rather play, you know, I could think of a dozen Wii games off the top of my head I'd sooner play than most of what was on the PS3 or even Xbox 360. So I'm not that bothered by it, but it does mean that you're not going to get a lot of multi-plat games. If you're kind of a generation behind, the Switch is when they're sort of a lot more in line with where everybody else is. So they're going to get a lot of stuff like Skyrim and all just find its way over there.
And I think Nintendo's done a better job at making the development tools very accessible for the Switch. Something that a lot of console makers don't do a particularly good job at.
Somebody in the chat says, "My sister has gained 100 pounds, cut off most of her hair, and dyed the rest blue, and declared herself polyamorous, loves transgenderism, and BLM. Pray for her." Well, that's
Have you disowned her yet?
I mean, though, if she's a fat black woman, I'm sure she'll be very popular at a BLM rally.
Did she move over to Chaz yet?
Somebody says, I hope we get a Zelda villain beyond Ganon in this new setting. I'm kind of hoping we get Zelda as a playable character. It'd be nice if there was, like, instead of the switching between worlds like Zelda always does, you know, the past and the present, or the dark world and the light world, if instead you sort of switch between characters with very different play styles.
Speaking of awesome playable characters, you're talking about the Batman animated series being your favorite Batman? I think the Arkham video games are my favorite Batman.
Well, I mean, that's the same voice actor. That is Kevin Conroy doing the same voice work.
And Mark Hamill doing the Joker.
Mm-hmm. But it's a very... It's both... It's got the grittiness of the Nolan movies, but just the entire depth that those Nolan movies hint at but never quite get to. It's got all the different villains. You get to play as Catwoman.
Well, it's got that grittiness, but it's not afraid to have the wild and goofy shit in it. Like, Joker, you know, at the end of the first game, fills himself with, you know, venom and becomes this big hulking monster. You know, and, I mean, whereas the Nolan movies are afraid to call Selena Kyle Catwoman because it's just too weird. And it's just too silly to call her Catwoman. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they don't take the realism that far. I mean, you get to fight Solomon Grundy, which that would never play in real life.
You get to fight an undead version of the Hulk, basically.
Oh, and that level's hard.
I would imagine it's fucking Solomon Grundy.
And you've got Penguin leering above, ridiculing you the whole time. And then you defeat Solomon Grundy and then go and beat his face in.
I liked Arkham Asylum. I didn't really get into any of the sequels. It's like Assassin's Creed. I liked the first one, but I didn't get into any,
Arkham
any of the sequels.
Arkham Asylum is basically why I bought a 360. Like, it's funny. Superhero games are sort of what twice forced me into buying a console. Like, I got a PS2 in 2005, having been out of video games for a very long time. Like, just starting to get back into retro stuff. I bought a Genesis again. Our girlfriend had bought it for me, actually. But I got a PS2 basically because of all the great superhero games on it. Like, Ultimate Spider-Man was the one that really pushed me into it. And then, you know, I saw Arkham Asylum. I saw buddies playing it. I'm like, man, that looks amazing. And it's like, you know, all I had at the time newest was a Wii, and it obviously wasn't going to be on the Wii. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll get a 360.
Arkham City is my favorite of the four. Although, was it Arkham Origins? Everybody loves to crap on that game, but it honestly plays second best.
I got a big red 360 too because it was a bundle with Resident Evil 5, which I played for 5 minutes and then put it away for Batman, and you know the next day sold it at the retro game store.
Yeah, I don't get it, Sporties. Batman Returns is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Somebody's saying in the chat, I like Batman Returns because it speaks to my own issues, shall we say. I mean, Batman Returns has its moments. It definitely has... I feel like if somebody would have just reined Tim Burton in a little bit, Batman Returns would have been great. But, you know, after the success of the first one, they told Tim Burton, do whatever you want. And that's a horrible, horrible mistake when it comes to... Like, Tim Burton will just not respect source material at all.
And as bad as Batman and Robin is, it's at least funny. Batman Returns had almost no humor to it whatsoever.
Well, I made the controversial statement on here before, and I'll stand by it. I would rather watch Batman and Robin than Batman Begins. Like, Batman Begins is obviously a better film in most measures, but it's fucking boring. Like, after you've seen it a bunch of times, it's fucking boring. Batman and Robin, I will sit and laugh my ass off at it.
If you like that kind of camp, you need to watch Danger 5.
I've never even heard of that.
I mean, I personally have no attachment to any superhero stuff, and I'll watch Batman and Robin.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude. It is so insane. Like, there's parts of that movie that have, like, the cinematography and, like, choreography of a fucking play. Like when they're in the museum and all the guys like with hockey sticks are skating around them for some reason, I feel like I'm watching a stage show. Like, you know, those like on ice shows or something where it's like now there's like Marvel superhero stage shows and shit you could take a kid to or something. Like you feel like you're watching that when you see Batman and Robin. Like it's that quality of just I don't know what to say. Like that quality of, like I said, choreography, cinematography, whatever, and you're sitting there like, this isn't a movie. This is a fucking movie.
Well, it's that cheesy campness to it, which most people don't like in a Batman movie. Like I said, Danger 5 plays it straight, but it's so ridiculous that it's just absolutely funny. Whereas most people weren't expecting that from the Batman. If you started out a series like that, you could play it that way.
I mean, I like the Brave and the Bold cartoon, and that plays up the camp like a lot. The other thing that's really weird, and it's a problem with both Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. Like, Robin is like fucking 35 in those movies, right? Like Chris O'Donnell is like just a man who is obviously 30 at the youngest, and we are treating him like he's a child. Like talking about adopting him or where like he's a teenager or something at most, and it's like you're fucking 30, dude. Like, and part of that I realized, like, I will make this prediction: you will never see a young Robin on the big screen. You will never see a fucking Batman movie where Batman is leading a 10 to 12-year-old fucking child in a battle with gangsters who are shooting guns at him. Like, you're never gonna fucking see that on the big screen because people just would not be comfortable with that. And combine that with the fact that, like, we're so used to seeing, like, obvious adults play teenagers that when an actual teenager is playing a teenager, everyone complains they look too young. Like, everyone shitted on Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and there's a lot of reasons to shit on it, but they're like, oh, he looks like he's 10. It's like, no, he looks like he's 15, because that's what a fucking 15-year-old looks like. We're just so used to, like, Tobey Maguire shit, where an obviously 30-year-old man is chasing a school bus. Or growing up with Saved by the Bell, where, like, everybody in that show is fucking 20, and they're playing 15-year-olds. That it's fucking jarring to see an actual teenager play an actual teenager. Like Screech in Saved by the Bell was the scrawny kid. No, he was just the only one there that was actually the age he was playing.
Yeah, and in Forever they try and set Batman up as sort of a father figure to Robin.
But he's fucking 30. Like it just doesn't work on that level. Like, you'd have to have the balls to actually make this an obvious teenager, if not a kid. Or it doesn't work. I mean, even in the animated series, Dick Grayson was very obviously not a child when he gets taken in by Batman, but you could at least believe he was a teenager. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the Tim Drake one looked like a fucking child. That one looked like he was fucking 10, where, you know, you could believe that Dick Grayson was probably like, you know, 16 or 17. But no, it's just, you'll never see a young comic book accurate Robin on the big screen. That will never fucking happen. They'll never do that.
Honestly, if you want to have Batman be a father figure, bring in Damian Wayne.
Even that, I think they'd freak out. Like, because, I mean, Damian Wayne is, like, canonically 10 or something like that when he starts being Robin. Like, he's prepubescent even. And, like, you just... Never mind the believability of a 10-year-old beating up, you know, all these big thugs. Because, you know, with gadgets and training, I could buy it at least. Fine. You know, I can meet you halfway on that. But no, people would get upset seeing like a child get... Especially, like, if he's losing a fight or something. Like, the moment we're seeing a 10-year-old get the fucking shit kicked out of him by a bunch of thugs, like, people aren't going to be having happy comic book fun time anymore. Like, most people are just going to react poorly to that. Somebody says, reminding me that the Saved by the Bell class were older makes me feel better about fapping to Jesse. I mean, I was more of a Kelly man myself, but you do you.
I don't think he's thinking about who he's going to do.
Oh, man.
Maybe it's because I'm a little bit younger, but I never really got into Saved by the Bell.
Oh, I was just the right age. I was like 10 or 11 when I discovered it.
No, I'm slightly older than Beckloff, and I never got into it.
Again, you had to be at just the right fucking age to get latched onto it. You had to be just old. Basically, if you were just old enough to be starting to notice girls when you watch Saved by the Bell, then you would have gotten hooked on Saved by the Bell. And it was kind of winding down at that point. Like, it was basically damn near over when I discovered it. I think like shortly after I discovered it, they tried to do that College Years spinoff. But like it was on every channel all the time. I actually looked at a TV Guide a couple of times, and in my local, with my local stations and cable and all, there was up to 30 episodes of Saved by the Bell being aired in a day. Now, obviously, some of them, like, you literally, at certain points in the day, had your fucking pick of different... You could be like, well, maybe I'll watch the episode on TBS, or I'll watch the episode on Channel 4, or I'll watch the episode that's on Channel 27 right now. Like, there's like 4 different fucking stations playing different episodes of Saved by the Bell at the same time. It was all over the place for a hot minute there. And I was just the right age where I'm interested in girls, but I'm young enough to still find the stupid humor funny. So you had to be at that sweet spot to get into it.
Yeah, I'm a few years too young for that. I was still watching Looney Tunes at that time period.
Well, I was still watching Looney Tunes at the... Actually, no, it was more Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs during that period.
Well, Animaniacs was the tits, man. Tiny Toon
Adventures
were great too.
Yeah, and the thing about Animaniacs was that a lot of that humor, yeah, it's a goofy cartoon, but like a lot of that humor was adult level.
Animaniacs still holds up. Like, I've recently watched some on Netflix, and I'm like, this is still funny.
Yeah, I've got it on DVD. It's awesome.
I had the Sega Genesis game too for Animaniacs, which was pretty damn good. It was like a puzzle platformer where you could switch between Wacko, Yakko, and Dot, and each of them had different abilities that you needed to do each area.
I actually have to look into that.
Honestly, if you have either an emulator or a Sega Genesis, it's a game worth getting, and it's not expensive. You know, a lot of retro game prices are crazy. Animaniacs is still pretty affordable. There's a Super Nintendo one too that's really different, and I never really played that one, so I can't speak to it. But the Genesis one is pretty good. It's a very slow puzzle platformer though, so like there's a decent amount of trial and error and a decent amount of patience required with it. Just figuring out exactly what you got to do, but it also it's got a password system and it's pretty generous with extra lives. So, like, even as a kid, I don't remember getting a lot of game overs. I remember dying a lot, but not getting a lot of game overs.
Yeah, I miss those old games. I've been trying to recreate my old Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color collection, and the games are just so expensive.
Well, the Game Boy games ain't too bad. I mean, compared to a lot of other retro markets, like if you're trying to build a Super Nintendo or NES or Genesis collection, even right now, that's rough. But Game Boy's still pretty decent, with a few outliers. Especially in the original Game Boy, and expensive ones usually like $20. But a lot of them are way cheaper than that. But then, I mean, you do get a few oddball ones. Like, I recently picked up Godzilla Domination, just because I saw a bunch of reviews of it and it looked really good. and it is. And I've just been on a
Have you
Godzilla
heard of
kick.
Jesus?
I was doing a little Godzilla research for a project I'm working on, writing project. And it was like $30. But I consider it worth it because I've had a lot of fun with it so far. It's like a isometric beat 'em up where you're fighting other monsters and destroying the city. And it has a very nice like cartoon art style to it that works perfect on the GBA. Eldridge Fan sends $2. Says, I tap out for the night. I catch the rest later. Take care. Well, thank you very much for the $2.
Yeah, I'm still kind of sad there's no emulators for the Switch yet. There's no way to emulate a lot of the old games on it.
Well, I know people already hacked Breath of the Wild, but I think that's because of the Wii U version.
No, I mean be able to play.
Oh yeah, they got NES and Super Nintendo games on there, but they haven't. They really should do a better virtual console library. I'll tell you the thing that surprised me, and it was a missed opportunity. Nintendo should have put the Virtual Boy games on the 3DS, at least as a virtual console. If not, as a collection, and people would have bought it. Like there are good first-party games that were on the Virtual Boy, and being able to play that with a 3D effect that doesn't hurt your fucking eyes and give you a headache would be really fucking cool. I mean, like Teleo Boxer, they've never released another game in that franchise, And there's a good Wario Land game on there. Mario Clash is a pretty good update of the arcade Mario Brothers. The first ever Mario Tennis is on there. There's some first-party games on there that are, should be re-released in some form.
Wasn't there like Wario's Treasure Hunt or something?
It was Wario Land. It was Wario Land Virtual Boy, which was technically the second Wario Land game.
Oh, that one's awesome. Although I'm still third Wario Land was still my favorite.
I mean, I get some of the other ones you're not going to have the rights to. Like, nobody's going to bother trying to track down the rights to fucking Waterworld, the game. Like, who cares? But yeah, release your first-party stuff on there at least. I bet you even a physical cartridge, which let's say it had Virtual Boy Mario Tennis, Virtual Boy Mario Clash, the Wario Land game on there, and Teleo Boxer. Just those 4 games on there on a cartridge for the 3DS probably would have sold. I'd have picked it up. I know that much.
Yeah, and that used to be a thing about the Game Boys is they were always backwards compatible. You could still play the first Super Mario Land on the Game Boy Advance SP.
Oh yeah, when I got that Game Boy, I got a Game Boy Advance SP and went back and they are. Yeah, you basically, if you have a 3DS and a Game Boy Advance SP, you basically have all of Nintendo's handheld library right there.
Even the first DS had a slot for the old Game Boy games, but then they decided to get rid of it.
A lot of hidden gems on the Game Boy too, and most of them aren't pricey at all. Like the few pricey ones, like Mega Man 5 or Kid Dracula stuff, but hell, even those, like I got like reproduction carts of the first Shantae and Kid Dracula to play.
I just need to fire up my emulator because I've got ROMs of a lot of these different games, but like the Lego Drome Racers, Lego Island. There's a whole bunch of Lego games that they made for the Game Boy that were really good. A bunch of old Nintendo games. A few of them which I have for because I still have an Advance SP. But
I bought all 3 Kim Possible games on the Game Boy Advance a little while ago. They're not as bad as you'd think. And they were all dirt cheap. The most expensive one of the 3 cost me $3.99. I think the other 2 were like $2.99 a piece. And they weren't bad. Like,
have you heard of Jesus?
The graphics on the first one is really bad. But other than that, I mean, they're if you like Kim Possible, you'd like them. Like, there's nothing special about them outside the license, but they're also not bad. You know what I mean? Oh God,
Well-
this one girl I was dating a couple of years ago. She was a little bit younger than me, so she was a kid around the time of the Game Boy Advance, and she had a bunch of her games still. And I was like, oh, let me take a look. They made a fucking Lizzie McGuire game.
Do you make like Olsen Twin games?
Oh yeah, I know that, but I was like looking at it, like, how does that work? And it's like, if you've ever seen Lizzie McGuire, which I'm sad to say I have. Remember, I watched Kim Possible a lot when it came out, so I saw like bits and pieces of other Disney Channel shows or commercials for him a lot. So like, even though I was like fucking right out of high school, I'm familiar with some of the shows from that era, like more than I care to admit. So one of the Lizzie McGuire things was like, you'd constantly see, it was like a live action show of like a middle school girl and like all her trials and tribulations of being a kid or whatever. But there was like a cartoon Lizzie McGuire that would be in her head. Like they'd animate this cartoon version of her and it would be her inner monologue and it would just pop up on the screen. Like it'd talk to people. And the game is just like that cartoon like avatar. And then it's like some boomers like, what do teenage girls like? Okay, she's going around a mall collecting CDs. It is the most terrible fucking cash-in you can imagine. Like, and then I think she's collecting shoes in a mall or something. But I remember her telling me like, yeah, I love Lizzie McGuire when I was a kid, and she told me like, I got this game as a kid and I tried desperately to convince myself it was good. Because you bug your parents for this game and they finally get it for you and it's like, it's just absolute garbage. Real quick, Duke of Tumwater sends $1. Thank you very much for that. Says playing the Game Boy Advance ports of Donkey Kong Country are some of my fondest memories. Yeah, they're solid ports. I mean, the Super Nintendo ones are better, generally, but they're solid ports and they were solid games. They don't really do anything new with them, other than like they wash out the colors in the first two a lot because originally the Game Boy Advance had a very dark screen, and a lot of they changed the music a lot for the third one. Some people would say for the better, some people not. It's not like the Mario Advance things where they made a lot of changes to those ports.
Donkey Kong 3 was my favorite, and it was the one without Donkey or Diddy. It had Dixie and Kiddy Kong.
Yeah, none of them. 2 and 3 you couldn't play as Donkey Kong, which kind of an interesting move at the time. Good games though, really good games. The Donkey Kong franchise doesn't get enough love. We really need a sequel to Tropical Freeze.
That's another gem that is often overlooked.
And I mean, it was huge when it came out. Donkey Kong Country was one of the highest selling Nintendo games ever. But during like the GameCube era, Donkey Kong wasn't exactly treated pretty well. Hey, you want to play a Donkey Kong platformer or a fucking bongo? Honestly, the GameCube era, and I know there's a lot of guys about 10 to 15 years younger than me that just love the GameCube, but that was a dark fucking time for Nintendo. I'm sorry to tell you, that was slightly better than Wii U era Dark Ages, where like, I mean, what do you really got on the GameCube? Like, you got some gems, but I mean, as far as Nintendo first party stuff, it's like, you want to play the worst Mario Kart? You want to play, you want to play the most overrated Smash? You want to fucking play Donkey Kong with a bongo?
Oh, bro. You had... Double Dash was great, first of all.
Double Dash was not great. Double Dash is the... Well, let me put it this way. I just recently played 7 on the 3DS, and just for some reason, the control scheme of that honestly fucking hurts my hand to play with it for too long. That aside, I'd still rather play it than Double Dash.
Double Dash was fantastic.
I would rather play 7 and fucking get arthritis at the age of 40 than play Double Dash again.
You had Star Fox Assault. That was also epic. They did a port of Twilight Princess over to the GameCube because it came. I think it came out on the GameCube slightly before the Wii.
I thought they came out right around the same time.
When I got a Wii,
Maybe a week
I
or
went
two.
back and played some GameCube games because it was compatible. You just had to get a memory card and a controller. And I think the only one I actually held on to was there was a Zelda collection that had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask and Zelda 1 and 2 from the NES. And that's the only one of the GameCube games I would hold on to. Like, I'd buy them and, like, play them a little bit and lose interest and sell them.
There's a bunch of good GameCube games. The thing is, a lot of them really weren't that great unless you had people to play with.
See, my problem is that in my friend circle, I had that one friend who would always play the shit out of every game, so he'd be way the hell better than everybody else, and it wasn't any fun.
That's how. And in all fairness, among my circle of friends, like that's me with Mario Kart. Like nobody fucking wants to play Mario. Like they just know, like no, you fucking race every night before you go to bed when you get a new Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So he says, "What about Wind Waker?" I don't know. Wind Waker never did it for me. I don't like the art aesthetic of Wind Waker, and I know that it was like trendy to shit on, and it's not even like Link. It's not like I look at it and I instantly like, oh, I don't like that. What really, when I was playing Wind Waker, got me saying like, okay, I'm done. When I fucking saw the Moblins, and I'm just like, okay, game, we're done here. I don't know what it was exactly, but it's like, this is simultaneously both too cute and too ugly. I don't know how you did that, but I don't like it.
Yeah, and then there's Super Mario Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion. I still mostly play. I do it on a GameCube emulator, but got the Luigi's Mansion ROM that I'll just play the hell out of every now and then when I get the hankering for it.
I still have my Wii. My kid plays the hell out of Super Monkey Ball.
There's a lot of great games on the Wii. Like, since my Wii U busted, I don't have a way to play Wii games, so I kind of sold them all. And part of me, like, feels like, man, I should just shell out $40 and get a Wii again and just start... Like, there's a lot of games I legitimately miss on the Wii. Like, Mario Galaxy is fucking great. I like Mario Galaxy 2, but I don't like it as much. The new Super Mario Brothers game on the Wii, I think, is the best of the new Super Mario Brothers games. There's a lot of other stuff, man. It's fucking Mario Kart on the Wii is really good. I think Brawl is very underrated.
People shit on Red Steel a lot. I actually really liked that game.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with the Wii. That's the one I got after the PS2. Like, that was the quote-unquote next generation console I got. I got back into Nintendo with that. You know, I got that over a 360 or PS3 at the time, and I never regretted it. There was nothing on the other two systems that really... up until Arkham Asylum, nothing on the other two systems really made me regret going with the Wii.
Yeah, but at the time, the Wii was also a better pick, mostly because of price. Because at that time, the PlayStation and the Xbox were trying to both compete on graphics and supporting HD DVD or Blu-ray, and those drove up the costs way more than a Wii.
Yeah, it felt like having a PS3 was more of a status symbol than a real game console. Like, every fucking dindu I knew that, you know, literally had a grill, literally had fucking, you know, the diamonds in his teeth shit. It was like, I got me a new PS3. And it literally was like, and, you know, in all fairness, PS2 kind of fell into that a little bit, too. I remember every rapper used to want to have a PS2 in his car. But at the same time, PS2 had one of the most expansive game libraries I've ever seen of any system ever.
Well, see, I actually bought a launch PS3, and that was part of the reason was because you could play PS1 and PS2 games on it.
I mean, I don't think I think it turned out to just be a rumor, but I was interested in getting the PS5 when the rumor was it would be backwards compatible with the other 4. I mean, I know there's some tech issues with it, and it's not as easy as flipping on a Switch, but not doing backwards compatibility is just leaving money on the table.
Well, the thing, I mean, at least for as far as the PS3 is concerned, is it was so architecturally different and hard to program for. I mean, Microsoft could do backwards compatibility on the Xbox One all the way to the original Xbox because there wasn't a ton of difference among them. So, I mean, for backwards compatibility, I would expect the Xbox, whatever the new one is, there actually could be a chance that might be more or even fully backwards compatible, or at least I'm hoping so.
Yeah, but the thing is, you could still get PS2 and PS1 backwards compatibility because they had a standard architecture. It was that PS3 processor that was just weird.
Honestly, I'd take it even if like they were like, look, it's backwards compatibility, but limited backwards compatibility with 3. Or even no backwards compatibility with 3. It's better than nothing. Like if it was like, look, we got PS1, 2, and 4 games on here. Sorry, 3 is just it's the fucking black sheep. We can't help you there. At least you're trying. Like it's a selling point. It really. I know you're not making money if I go to just press play and buy a PS1 game. I get that, Sony, but it's still a selling point of the system. And if I get the system, then I'm more inclined to get the new games too.
I wish Sony would just put its entire library on its cloud streaming service.
Well, I mean, a lot of those games, obviously, like Sony doesn't own any fucking games. Let's be real. Sony has no first-party shit, basically. Damn near. So, I mean, it ain't like Nintendo where you just go back to your library of games you own and put them on there. So, you know.
What are you talking about? They have The Last of Us 2, I'll have you know.
Yeah, they have The Last of Us. That's a big, it's a big deal. God. I'm one of those people that, like, when The Last of Us 1 was being all hyped, I was, like, looking at it like, this looks like shit. Like, the fungus zombies thing is kind of a cool concept, but this looks like shit. This looks like a B movie that I occasionally press X during.
I am actually tempted to sign up for the PlayStation streaming service because it's like $60 a year, and you can just play it on PC. You just hook up a DualShock controller to your computer, and just, you know, for the few PlayStation games I'm interested in.
Well, literally the only thing on PS4 I want is Spider-Man. And I'm not even interested in this upcoming sequel to it because it sounds like they're going to make it all about fucking Miles. Like, who cares? So it's like, I'm not going to buy a system because I want to play one fucking game. Like, yeah, it looks good, but I've played a lot of, like, full 3D sandbox Spider-Man games before. So it ain't even like it's some groundbreaking shit that I've never played.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Like, I played Ultimate Spider-Man. I played Spider-Man 2 movie games, stuff like that, you know? It's like, it's just a better experience of something I've already played.
Yeah.
If you do get the streaming service, I recommend Infamous Second Son. I got that game and have a lot of fun with it.
Duke of Tumwater donates $1, says, TBH, I never considered myself a huge Nintendo fan, but this stream is like a trip down memory lane for me. I tell you what, you want a trip down memory lane? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab my box of Game Boy games, and I will literally tell you every Game Boy game I have right now.
Spider-Man is not on.
So
Spider-Man is not on PlayStation now. That kind of sucks.
Not. The one fucking thing I'd want.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Backwards compatibility is one of those things that honestly should be thought about in the first place when you're designing a system. Like, how can we keep this going in our next system?
Well, I mean, if nothing else, offer the original games like for, if you still want to make money, make them available as like a digital purchase, like a virtual console.
That's honestly what Nintendo should have done with the Switch. Said the virtual console from the Wii U is coming back. All your games get ported forward.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we got this whole new selection of games and Game Boy games. And
All right, I'm back.
Well, and I mean, I give Microsoft all the credit in the world. Like, for if you had some original Xbox games, you put the disc in, and not only do you get that version of the game, you'll also get like an enhanced version that, runs at full HD and 60 frames per second.
Yeah, Microsoft just thought about that from the start.
All right, so first off, I have a couple of repro carts or whatever, I guess. I have one, and these are Game Boy Advance cards. It's called NES Classics. It has like a couple hundred NES games fucking on there. It's some bootleg, multi-cart. I also got a Sega Classics that has a bunch of Game Gear and Master System games on it. Let's see what the fuck else I got in here. I got these two big goofy-ass ones that have rumble packs of Pokemon Pinball and Little Mermaid 2 Pinball. Because I was on a fucking pinball kick at some point. You all in the chat, you tell me if any of this fucking rings a bell with you. Let's see, I got Mario Tennis Power Tour. These are Game Boy Advance games right now. Mario Tennis Power Tour, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Zelda Minish Cap, Astro Boy Omega Factor, which is fucking great, by the way. Let's see, I got a Turtles and a Turtles 2 game. They're for that like 03 cartoon that no one remembers. Pac-Man Collection, Pac-Man Pinball, Mrs. Pac-Man Maze Madness, Donkey Kong King of Swing, Mario and Luigi Superstar. I got a whole fucking shoebox of these damn things. Game Boy games are so cheap these days. Mario Pinball Land, Mario and Donkey Kong, Mario Advance 1, Mario Advance Mario 3, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Leaf Green, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. Kirby Amazing Mirror, Kim Possible 1, 2, and 3, Backyard Hockey, NHL Hits 2003, NHL 2002. Fucking mess. Sonic Advance 1, 2, and 3. Sure. A lot better than most modern Sonic games. So in the chat says, what's your thoughts on the current IDW run at TMNT? I'm not really reading the main series. I've read a lot of the crossovers, though. They're pretty good. Mario World, Mario Advance 2, Godzilla Domination, Namco Museum, Sonic Pinball Party, House of the Dead Pinball, Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Fusion, Doom, nice port of Doom for the fucking Game Boy Advance, NES Classic Excite Bike. For the Game Boy Color, I got Tomb Raider. I don't know what the hell the subtitle is on there. It's kind of, the label's a little faded. Let's see. Bunch of original Game Boys. Kid Icarus, Metroid 2, Bubble Bobble, Bubble Bobble 2, Godzilla, Kid Dracula, Dr. Mario, Q*bert, NHL 2000, Catwoman for the Game Boy Color. Tiny Toons, Revenge of the Gator, Hunt for Red October, Kirby's Pinball Land, Kirby Dream Land, Donkey Kong Land 1, 2, and 3, Paperboy, Batman, Roger Rabbit, Little Mermaid, Darkwing Duck, DuckTales 1 and 2, Alleyway, Link's Awakening. It says I never amassed that big of a collection. These games are just fucking cheap, man. It's hard to get decent NES games these days without paying an arm and a leg. But God, man, you can just get a fucking shit ton of Game Boy games for like nothing. Quirk, Odd World Adventures, Pokemon Yellow, Dig Dug, Turtles 1 and 2, WWF Superstars, Mega Man 1 through 4, Donkey Kong, Spider-Man 3, Star Trek TNG, Double Dragon, Bonk's Adventure. What the fuck else? Another handful here. Ah, damn it. Fucked it all up. Mario Land 1, 2, Wario Land 1 through 3. Wario Blast, which is basically just Bomberman, Space Invaders, Tetris. So they got Tetris for free. Side Pocket, Animaniacs. And the Game Boy, the Game & Watch Gallery 1 through 3. So he says, I think you and my best friend would really get along well on how many retro games you've amassed. I don't even know what to do with them anymore. Like, NES or Super Nintendo or Genesis games you can have, like, nice on a bookshelf or something, but, like, Game Boy games, it's like you basically just have to have a shoebox under your fucking bed. Speedway. Were you guys talking about Infamous 1 and 2? I see the chat's talking about it.
Infamous Second Son, the third one, with a completely different character.
There was one, it was sort of like, it was like a sandbox mode, and it wasn't Infamous, it was another one about that time. It was sandbox mode, and there was a bunch of zombies, and you had that same virus in you, but it basically gave you the fucking Venom symbiote for some reason, and you could eat zombies or
I think it was called
people.
Prototype.
Prototype, thank you.
Oh, yeah. That one was fantastic.
I had a lot of fun with Prototype. I never beat it because for a while I got distracted with fucking around in sandbox mode. But that was a lot of fun. Like just going around slaughtering zombies and trying to not get fucking shot up by the military was a lot of fun. Fucking eating people and turning into them.
I've got that for PC. I'll have to dust that off again.
Yeah, Prototype's fun. I think I still have that for the 360. I put most of my systems away. Like I had I had a Wii U, but it's broken because Nintendo didn't make shit to last anymore. I had a 360, a PS2, NES, Super Nintendo, and Genesis. But most of those are put away now, just for space reasons. I still have a Genesis hooked up to a shitty little CRT TV upstairs, and I have the Switch, obviously. See, that's a problem when you're not like one of the gamers that just wants to play whatever's hot at the moment. When you have interest in older games, going back however far, you end up with like way too many fucking systems hooked up. That's why something like a PS5 that's backwards compatibility, with all the other four would interest me. You know what I mean? It's why I ended up getting a Retron 5. Like that kind of stuff is just a big space saver.
Yeah, I've got both a Switch and a PS4. The thing about the Xbox is that since I'm a PC gamer, Microsoft has made a lot of their different games for Windows as well as the Xbox. So I can still play Halo just on the PC instead of the Xbox.
Yeah, I have a PC and an Xbox One, and I actually like being able to, at least on the first party stuff, kind of, if I want to sit in the living room and, play Halo or Forza, I can then, move over to my PC later if I wanted to and just pick up where I left off.
Oh, I'm a big fan of the Switch, having the portable function to it. Because I don't have a TV in my room. I haven't had a TV in my room in a long time. Largely because, TV hasn't been worth watching in a long time. So, having the Switch up there is nice. Because I don't need to have it hooked up. I've only ever hooked it up to a TV like a couple of times. And it was always over at like a friend's house. Like, bring Mario Kart over and hook it up to his TV. It's funny, like the first time I brought it over, I was like I'm fumbling around trying to figure out, okay, how do we get this hooked up how do we get this synced up to his TV? And he's like, how long have you had this system? You don't know how to do that? I'm like, I've never hooked it up to a TV. I just always have it in handheld mode.
I had a Switch, but I sold it because I literally had not powered it on in 6 months. And because they're sold out everywhere, I got back what I paid for it.
I bet. I mean, I mostly just play Breath of the Wild in it. There's a lot of other games I really got to dive into more. I never even got all that far in Mario Odyssey. I basically just got to New Donk City, and that was it. I haven't beaten it yet, and I've had it for like 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, Mario Odyssey just didn't grab me like the original Mario Galaxy did. Actually, I need to dust that off again.
Mario Galaxy more than Mario. I like Mario Galaxy is my favorite 3D Mario game. I honestly think that it just felt like the height of the franchise. It just felt like the most amount of... Like, a lot of people like Galaxy 2, and I get that there's some nicer level design in some regards, but all those levels in Galaxy 2 felt just like levels. You know what I mean? Like, Galaxy 1 had... Yeah, it's an abstract, surreal kind of universe, but it felt like a universe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mario 64 will always still be my favorite because that's the first Mario game that I ever played to 100% completion.
I hadn't really played Mario 64 till like about 05. I didn't have any of the 5th generation stuff. When I was a teenager, I fell out of games. My dad didn't want to buy them for me, and you know, my disposable income usually went to comics or chasing a redhead. You know, take her out to eat or something before she takes me out to eat.
Yeah, but I mean, I always have been and always will be PC mustard race. But my friends in college, you know, at least one of them had the various consoles. So one roommate had a Nintendo 64. You know, other friends had Dreamcast. So, you know, I wasn't for lacking of consoles.
My girlfriend
in those days
stole an N64 in like 04 or 05. She some friend of hers owed her a bunch of money. Like she had stayed with her for a couple of months and was supposed to have been paying rent and like didn't, and finally threw her out. And she's like, "This bitch owes me like $200 in rent. I'm gonna go get my rent." I'm like, "Fine." So I took her over to her house, and you know, she was in there for a few minutes, I guess arguing or something. All of a sudden, she comes running out to my car with this fucking like one of those storage Tupperware things, you know, you'd slide under a bed or something. She comes running out there, and she just gets in the back. She's like, "We gotta go." I'm like, "What?" Like, "We gotta go." And as we're driving away, right? I'm like, "Did you get your money?" She goes, "No, but I got something." I'm like, "What?" And she just like opens it up and she pulls out a fucking like Mario 64 out of this tub that's full of an N64 and a bunch of games. And she's like, "You like Mario, right?" So every time I was over at her house, she had a fucking N64, and that was when I first I had played it little bits at friends' houses, but that was when I first dived into like Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time. There was a few other ones on there that weren't very good. Like they had the South Park game from like the first-person shooter South Park game, and this was when South Park had like 1 or 2 seasons, so there wasn't any source material to work off of.
Did you ever play the South Park quiz show game from that era? Oh, it's almost like a Mario Party, or You Don't Know combined with You Don't Know Jack. It's actually pretty good.
She had the Sub-Zero sort of beat 'em up platformer game for the N64, which I remember like I couldn't get anywhere in it, and I was like, you know, I'd been out of video games for so long, so I'm kind of like, well, maybe I just suck, you know, and then I'd see reviews of it years later that like everybody was like, no, nobody gets anywhere in that game. She had the first Quake. We used to play Quake a lot. Like we'd play the arena mode in it. And had the first Smash Brothers, which again I had never played at that point. I think I briefly played a little bit of Melee at a friend's house. So I'm playing through Smash Brothers, and like the first time playing through, like there's the level where you fight 1,000,000 Yoshis, and I'm just getting like exhausted with it. I'm like, how many of these fucking Yoshis are there gonna be? And then at the end, I didn't know anything about Smash Brothers lore or something. At the end, you're fighting Master Hand, and I'm like, am I literally fighting the hand of God? Is it like every Japanese JRPG where you kill God at the end?
Yeah, my first game system it was a Game Boy, but my best friend had a Nintendo 64, and we'd go and just play that all day long. Largely Diddy Kong Racing and Mario Kart 64.
She had a few other games on there, but they were like mostly crap. I remember playing Glover a little bit. That was kind of fun, but it was sort of hard to get the hang of the controls. Like, Glover was fun, but then there's parts where it would just become, like, just insanely frustrating. Like, fuck it, I'm going back to Mario.
We used to have fun with Bomberman 64.
I don't think I played that one yet.
Yeah.
I don't think I got into Bomberman until, like, years later. When I was starting to get into, like, Game Boy and NES games. Bomberman's a lot of fun, though.
There was a PC version of it called Atomic Bomberman, and it came with a level editor, and we went nuts with that.
Bomberman should have been in Smash Brothers. Like, I know he's an assist trophy, but he should have been in Smash Brothers as a playable character. It still upsets me that somebody like Bomberman can't be a playable character. We got some tuxedo mask looking motherfucker from Persona that I ain't never heard of. I still got weebs that want to argue with me, where I'm like, I don't think Joker belongs in Smash because I don't think he's iconic. I feel like a third-party character should be iconic if they're in Smash Brothers.
When he does
iconic means that you should recognize them even if you don't give a shit about the game.
If Joker's in Smash, whenever he does a knockout, he should say, "You get what you fucking deserve."
Well, it's a joke. There's a character named Joker and a character named Robin in Smash, but no Batman. But yeah, I had weebs like arguing with me on the Discord about that all the time. Well, you just don't like it. It's like, look, I don't give a shit about Final Fantasy, let alone Final Fantasy VII. I would recognize Cloud out of the corner of my eye. Like, yes, he's earned a spot there. He is that iconic. I never even heard of Persona till the fourth one came out. So he says, did Solid Snake belong in Smash? Well, again, and look, nobody at Nintendo said that they had to be iconic to be a third-party person. So in all fairness, that's just something I assumed for the longest time. But yes, I would say Solid Snake is a very iconic video game character. Once again, I didn't have any video games during the 5th generation. I didn't have any systems. I was out of video gaming. I don't give a shit about Metal Gear Solid. I know who Solid Snake is. Like, that's sort of the thing when I say iconic. It's not just that you're a fan of it. Like, it's that everybody knows who this is. This is a character that, everybody recognizes. Anybody with any sort of interest in gaming knows who this character is. And to me, it always felt like if you're a third-party character in Smash, you should be that. You should be iconic. Like, obviously all the Nintendo characters in it aren't iconic. Certainly nobody outside of some weebs could name you one fucking Fire Emblem character. But Nintendo owns them, so they're going to pimp them in their game. But if it's a third-party character, I would think it would be something like Pac-Man or Sonic or Cloud or what are some other ones they've had in there over the years? Banjo and Kazooie, even, like, just something more iconic than fucking, it's Joker from Persona. It's Tuxedo Mask guy from Weeb Shit the game.
Master Chief, if you're pulling in Microsoft characters.
Master Chief, I mean, you could argue tonally, would that fit? But you have the same problem with, like, with Solid Snake. But yes, Master Chief is more iconic than Joker. Fucking the guy from Doom. Doom
Marine,
guy
yeah.
is more iconic. You know what I mean?
I would even put like Chris Redfield or Leon from Resident Evil. It's more than.
Like, Joker's just not iconic. And I realize, like, every Persona fan wanted to argue with me. He is not an iconic character. They announced that character, and I was like, who the fuck is this? It's not that, oh, well, you just don't like it. I don't like fucking Final Fantasy. I don't like Metal Gear Solid. I know who those characters are. The only third-party one, other than Joker, you could really argue is just not iconic, would be Bayonetta. And I'll be honest with you, Bayonetta almost just feels like a Nintendo character. Like, she ended up sort of being Nintendo exclusive during the Wii U years of all times.
Well,
I almost keep forgetting that's not owned by Nintendo. So I almost kind of want to give a pass on that one. That said, though, never played Bayonetta games. Never had a chance to play them. I know who Bayonetta is.
They're pretty fun. But yeah, they're very popular on the Switch. So, of course,
And again, that's just something I always figured. Nobody at Nintendo said that was the fucking criteria. So, I mean, you know, on one level I acknowledge I'm getting mad that they're violating my headcanon. But I still stand by the point that Joker's not fucking iconic. I mean, again, tonally you could argue whether they belong in there, but you stick like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat in there, that's something way more people recognize. You could go with even more obscure fucking arcade things. Like, more people would recognize Q*bert than fucking... I mean, he doesn't have any hands, so I don't know what kind of moveset you're going to get from him. But hell, they made a moveset out of the Piranha Plant, so I'm sure they could come up with something. Piranha Plant is legitimately my favorite fucking character to play as now. He's just so insanely smug. Something about him seems so obnoxiously smug. And he's kind of a joke character that he feels like the perfect troll character. Like, if you're playing somebody that takes Smash Brothers way too fucking seriously, it seems like it would be a lot of fun to beat them with Piranha Plant.
Not just beat him, but rub it in.
Yeah, because Piranha Plant just looks so smug all the time. I don't know how they get such expression out of something that doesn't even have eyes. That barely has a face. But damned if they don't.
I haven't played Smash in a little while. Have they added anything from Luigi's Mansion 3?
I don't know. I really haven't played it in a while either. I've been meaning to actually get the DLC of of Banjo-Kazooie. I'm obviously not buying the Joker DLC. That's not gonna fucking happen. But I never really even unlocked all the people. I just Smash is just such a 2-player game to me that, like, I kind of lose interest when I'm trying to, like, unlock guys on my own. Like, I enjoy Mario Kart on my own. I can unwind doing races on Mario Kart, but I really tend to lose interest with Smash Brothers on my own.
Well, that's where you start getting to online play and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't want to play a 10-year-old in Korea.
Well, that's why I've been trying to convince some people to set up stuff in the Discord, play online with each other.
Yeah, I guess that's always like a mindset I've always had, and I really should get over it, because it's like I have so many internet friends that at this point I should just get over that mindset. But I've always been like, fuck online play. I want to play with my friends, not with a 10-year-old in Korea. But at the same time, I have enough internet friends. I love people in the chat are talking about like memes in Smash and shit, like put Shrek in Smash, put Alex Jones in Smash. I would legitimately love if somebody made like some sort of ROM hack of Smash and like just a Smash Brothers clone and just shoved as many stupid fucking memes in there as they could, like fucking Corey in the house. Fucking,
Custom characters.
fucking,
Like
fucking the flex tape guy, and like his move is he saws the stage in half. That's his final smash and tapes it back together.
like in PC where we got all these mods, and some like Steam, they're blessed by the creators. So yeah, you can make your own custom characters. You can Alex Jones.
For my final smash, I sawed this stage in half. The stage in half. To show you the power of Flex Seal. He just turns into this like godlike being in the background with the fucking chainsaw. Just sawing right to the middle of the stage as every other character runs away in terror. Fucking Corey in the house. Put fucking JonTron in there. He rips your spine out as he says, "Have you heard of Jesus?"
A Spoonie in there. Don't tell me how to play.
He has a band hammer for a weapon. Well, fucking put Davis in there then. Fucking
Yeah.
the fucking King of
Smash is
Canada.
boring.
He has like a Jughead from Archie crown on his head. He's the King of Canada.
His smash is boring everybody to death.
Yep.
He speaks poor. He poorly speaks Latin, and everyone falls asleep.
It was like Jigglypuff, where everybody around her goes to sleep. Davis has the monologue.
Fucking Owen Benjamin, put Big Bear in there.
Although with Owen, his weapons would probably be all dildos.
Honest to God, I want a fighting game with just internet lolcows. Like, forget the memes at this point. I want a fighting game of internet lolcows. Jonathan Ross and fucking
Chris Chan.
Chris Chan.
Series of tubes of rage.
Series of tubes of rage. That's amazing. I mean, somebody made a fucking 16-bit fan game, fighting game of Full House, for fuck's sake. I think we can make this happen. And Full House Tournament Fighter is actually a decent game. It's the sad part. Like, the graphics and sound clips are all really well done. It plays well. Bella Delphine has a range attack using bathwater. That's amazing, dude.
Put Joe Rogan on it. Have his final smash be something with DMT. And that's where you get the hand out weed and get all the other players stoned for a little bit.
Yeah, you know, he takes a hit from a bong and just blows the smoke. Get Elon Musk to drop a Tesla on you.
That's amazing, dude. That would, honest to God, that would be amazing. This fucking internet lolcows the game.
I think Chris Chan's final smash would be the interdimensional merge.
Oh, God. Fucking Alex Jones in there. That would be amazing. I'd play the fuck out of that. Like
Alex
fucking,
Jones' assist would be a bunch of gay frogs.
You get fucking Richard Spencer in there, and like every time he's hit, you get the sound clip of like, "You do not fucking do this to me." Just use real sound clips for all the time, for all these people all the time. You fucking kike! Every time somebody hits him, you fucking kike! You do not do this to me! And when he wins, it's the sound clip from his meltdown where he's like, "I fucking win! You lose!"
Mike Enoch has a ranch dressing hose.
Awesome. Get the We Was Kangs guys. Get the one in the fucking get the big fat That's Right guy from the We Was Kangs camp. That's right.
The Black Hebrew Israelites.
The big fat one that was like, cry what boy? The Holocaust is a fucking joke.
Then, of course, you'd have to have Movie Bob in there.
Oh my god, fucking Movie Bob. Put Jim Sterling in there too. With a dragon dildo on. Movie Bob dressed like Captain N, and he has the fucking NES zapper. That's a range weapon.
Either that or he throws a soda can bottle.
God, that's amazing. Fucking store brand sodas. Sargon will spam you fucking black pictures of black dicks. Like if you're playing against him and he's the computer, he'll throw it like at the screen, so it blocks your vision. It's just pictures of gay interracial porn. You're like, ah, god damn it, Sargon.
When he gets hit, he says,
he taunts you like, "Do you even own a suit?"
When he gets hit, he says, "You're all acting like a bunch of N-words."
Well, acting like a bunch. Oh, that's amazing. I want this to be a thing now. God damn. We don't really know what he looks like, but we gotta have Common Filth in there too. If he loses, he says we should have listened to God. Any internet personality that you could get a bunch of funny fucking voice clips from and a bunch of memes from would just be amazing.
Yeah, the hard part is not getting people to play it, it's getting someone to build it. Oh yeah, of course Medicare would have to. Yep, Wandering Man, Medicare would have to be in there.
Oh yeah, you'd have Jim in there.
His smash is that he quits halfway through.
I love that game that I guess it was Flubby that did it. That fucking RPG. I never actually played it, but I watched everybody else play it, which is basically the same for an RPG. But like, I love that in that RPG with like Davis and all that other shit, that like I'm portrayed as just a complete fucking shithead. Like I legitimately found that funny. Like I'm just a fucking impulsive, hedonistic fucking child, basically. like they show up on my island and I'm like, who are these non-redheaded ugly horse-faced women? I want them out of my sight. And then Medicare's like, yeah, they're trannies. And I'm like, I thought they were just ugly. Oh. That's what Davis never got. Like, if you just have a fucking sense of humor about it, you could have had some fun.
Oh, hell. People would just watch him play it if you did that on Twitch stream. You'd get more than 7 people.
Somebody say sticks, hexenhammers, clinking spoons as an attack. It's fucking, like, he clinks them, and you see, like, a little sonic wave, like when Kirby has the bell power.
Razor Fist would be Spoonie's assist.
Oh! With maybe a little white knight armor. Oh, that was harsh, but fair.
Yeah, I mean, I love Razor Fist, but he still
does white
retweets
knight
Spoonie.
for Spoonie, and I don't know why.
Oh my god, no.
I don't know why. Like, he does it all the time on Twitter. Like, Spoonie was doing some self-pity party on Twitter, and like, and Razor Fist is trying to like be like, well, at least you tried to do a stream. Fight for your mental health and all. It's like, Spoonie hates you. What are you doing? Fucking, if he knows who you are, he hates you. Okay.
Shit, man, I gotta look up the court records to see if Spoonie got foreclosed on.
I'm sure he didn't, because all that stuff got put on hold with the COVID shit. Like, most areas, you can't foreclose on somebody right now, or a victim.
Yeah, he actually doesn't live that far from me.
I'm gonna say, because Spoonie caused a car accident and took no fucking responsibility for that. And given my current situation, that's a little fucking enraging right now when I think of it. Like, look, I'm not gonna lie. I have caused car accidents before. I have been at fault in a car accident before in my life. And you want to know something? I felt fucking bad about it. Like, I come out of the car like, oh my God, is everybody okay? I'm so sorry. But, Spoonie, like, there's the video clip where he's lying to the cop and he said he had the light, even though there's, like, a camera and 3 witnesses that said he didn't. And look, I understand maybe you thought you did, but you'd think at that point you'd be like, oh man, I'm sorry, I thought I did. I must have fucked up. But no, he's like, oh no, I tell you, I had the light. Like, fuck you, Spoonie, you piece of shit. Again, like, you probably fucked somebody over. Like, you upended their life. I hope they don't have limited tort, and I hope they sue you into oblivion, Spoonie. I hope they manage to legally sue you personally, Spoonie. I hope... Fuck Spoonie, man. Spoonie deserves to be penniless and alone in the gutter. Like, I'm a piece of shit, okay? I am leagues above Spoonie, okay? I can at least say I'm not Spoonie. It's like years ago you used to be able to say, at least I'm not Anthony Birch. Right now you can say, at least I'm not Noah Antweiler. He's basically Davis levels of fucking shitbag. And it boggles my mind that people still want to kiss his ass because he made them laugh 10 years ago. Well, he was funny back when I was in middle school, so I really like him. But even Razor Fist doesn't have that excuse. Like, Razor Fist, like, is my fucking age, basically. He might be a little younger, or maybe he's a little older. I don't know. I really don't know, but he's close to my age. So he was a fucking adult when he discovered Spoonie. Like, there's not even the horrifyingly crippling nostalgia about it, I get it. He was funny 10 years ago, but so what?
Yeah, I do not understand that because he's a smart guy otherwise.
Yeah, I like Razor Fist. I don't understand, I mean, he'll rip it. Now, look, he'll have a little bit of polite. He doesn't get into a lot of, like, personal shit. He doesn't go after people unless they go after him. That's always been true of him. Well, at least when it comes to other content creators. But, like, he won't hold back when he does. Like, some of the, and he'll take pot shots even before that. Some of the things he said about, like, fucking Angry Joe or Movie Bob and all. Sterling just out of kind of nowhere, even though they weren't, like, saying anything about them. And it's like to treat fucking Spoonie with kids' gloves. I mean, at least Movie Bob has a fucking work ethic. At least Movie Bob will actually do the thing he's paid to do. That's one shred of virtue more than Spoonie has. I don't know. Spoonie's one of those guys that's literally, like, comically fucking disgusting and evil. He's so evil that he's actually not all that dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, he's so evil that he's pathetic. And largely not that dangerous, at least now that he doesn't have a car. But yeah, man, you caused this big old accident, you hurt people, you fucking, wreck their property, a very valuable piece of property. People forget how valuable a car is. Trust me, I'm facing that reality right now. There's a reason in the Old West they used to fucking hang people that stole horses. Because if you stole somebody's horse, you basically left them for dead. Well, economically speaking, depending on where somebody lives, if you destroy their car, you've kind of left them for dead. You know, if I didn't have friends and family that I could, you know, lean on in this time, I mean, I'd be facing a real fucking crisis. You know. They could have done this to somebody else who lived, you know, a half an hour drive from their work and lived alone and, you know, maybe just didn't have a lot of people in their life to help them out, and you basically ruined their life. And Spoonie's just like, well, I had the red light. Everybody else and the camera is lying. Or I had the green light. Everybody else in the camera is lying. Yeah, Spoonie, the CIA made a deep fucking fake to get you. So he says, are you saying we should hang people for Grand Theft Auto? I'm not saying we shouldn't.
Speaking of another game on the Switch.
What's this?
Said speaking of another game on the Switch.
When's Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out? I never really got into 5. I had it on the 360, but I never really got into it. I never got into Grand Theft Auto games that much. Honestly, the one I got the most into, and a lot of people hate on it, is San Andreas. And that's just because I like that early 90s West Coast rap aesthetic.
I think it's seen somewhat of a renaissance, though. I mean, I think a lot of people who might have dismissed it or hated it in the past are getting into it now.
I might give GTA 5 another shot. Like, maybe take the old 360 out at some point. But I just never got... My favorite quote-unquote Grand Theft Auto game isn't actually Grand Theft Auto. My favorite of that style of game is Saints Row 2. Saints Row 2 is the only one where I actually found myself giving a shit about the story. Part of that is because, like, Saints Row 2, your character... They don't try to portray your character as, like, this anti-hero who's conflicted or something. It's like, that's not how people play these games. Like, you can't try to tell me I'm some conflicted anti-hero, you know, when I slaughtered, like, 50 people in between this mission and the last. You know, including the EMTs that showed up to help. Like, my character's obviously a shitbag, because that's how most people are going to play it. Somebody says, since when do people hate on San Andreas? I've heard a lot of people hate on it. I've heard a lot of people like, oh, it's one of the weaker ones. And, you know, like people will be like, what? And I honestly think it's just a lot of people don't like the aesthetic. There's a lot of people who want to hate on that aesthetic and be like, you know, everyone wants to have the fucking 80s nostalgia instead of 90s nostalgia for some reason. There's a lot of people like, well, Vice City was better. It's like, no, it wasn't. Now, I will say I never gave a shit about the story in San Andreas, but it was another one I played a lot to dick around in. But again,
the story and the graphics in San Andreas are trash, but
I just enjoyed the aesthetics of it. I enjoyed, you know, fucking driving around listening to the fucking banging tunes. You know, just it was just that aesthetic that I liked.
You play San Andreas for the actual gameplay, not for the story or the graphics quality.
Like, I never even got far enough into the story that, like, when you're early on in the story, you're not actually allowed to go to the other islands. Like, there's one that's sort of like Vegas, and there's one that's sort of like San Francisco. And you're actually not allowed to go into them. You can, but, like, all the roads are closed going to them. And if you actually swim over to them, like, your wanted stars go up to, like, fucking 4 or 5 immediately. If you haven't done enough missions to unlock them. But if you just type in the code to, like, you know, freeze your wanted stars, you can go over there and dick around all you want. Somebody says Vice City is not aged well gameplay wise. Yeah, it's aged about as poorly as 3, to be honest. I mean, I'd rather go back to the top-down fucking 1 and 2 than play 3. Like, 3 aged really, really bad. It was revolutionary at the time, but it aged badly. I wish they'd re-release 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are actually pretty good. I don't know. Maybe they're on Steam or something. Who knows?
I have a
Probably are.
feeling yeah, if they're not, I have a feeling they might be in rights holder hell because there was because I know it was like Rockstar that made them, but were they like not called Rockstar back then? And then like Virgin Media.
Years later, you lose the rights to the soundtrack too, because all the radio stations and all.
Yep.
Yeah, you might have to sail the high seas in order to get 1 and 2.
It's funny too. I was watching. It just got it got recommended to me a couple days ago. I mean, it's an old video, but Razorfist review of GTA 5, and like one of his chief complaints was like not enough metal music, like on the radios. And it's like I've heard him make that exact complaint, like at least 3 different times with games. Like he complains there's not metal music in the Fallout games, and like I think it's Fallout 4 review. There's another one where he's like, not enough metal music. It's like
Doom.
It might have been Doom actually. I think where he was like, why is your music in here that's not metal? It's like metal guys generally, and Razor Fist isn't that bad, but a lot of metal guys, it's like they just don't like anything but metal. Like, Razor Fist isn't that bad, but at the same time, it's just like, where's the metal music? And it's like, you know, this is Mario Party. Like, I mean, it's damn near like that.
If you want metal music, turn the music off in the game, set up a stereo system right next to the game console, and play your metal music.
I mean, I never liked the music in the original Doom, to be honest. I can understand it's iconic, but, like, I always turned it the fuck off. Like, I just left the sound effects on. Maybe I played some music of my own or something. My favorite Doom music to this day is the Doom 64 soundtrack. It actually sounds like, you know, shit that hell would sound like. But in all fairness, I don't like metal music, so I guess for me, hell would have metal music. Either that or country.
They actually just released Doom 64 on PC.
I thought they had released it a while before, like Doom Absolution was the original name of it. So I think Doom Absolution got released on PC a while back.
Yeah, no, this is actual Doom 64. They redid it for
the soundtrack of Doom 64 is fucking great, man. I think it was Stop Skeletons from Fighting when he had a review of it years ago. He said, like, you know, if you ever have a Halloween party and you want some like background music ambience, put the Doom 64 soundtrack on.
Yeah, nowadays if you want to go shoot up a bunch of demons, you have to go to Hollywood.
Somebody says Razor is a spiritual boomer. A little bit. He is a little bit normie con in his politics. Not quite that bad, but every once in a while, I would disagree with him and think he's a bit normie con. But Metal Mythos is good series. I like actually the handful of times he's done it on like people that aren't metal when he calls it Music Mythos. I actually really like. I like the Queen one. I like the Michael Jackson one, and I'll give him credit. He outright changed my opinion on Michael Jackson.
Me too.
Like, I was of the mindset that, yeah, he was probably diddling kids. But at the same time, I never really thought much of it. You know what I mean? It was just like, he was accused of it. He was really weird. Okay, he probably did it. But it wasn't something that concerned me a great deal, so I never really thought of it much. But, like, he laid out a solid fucking case, and I will take the position now that Michael Jackson was completely fucking innocent of that. Like,
yeah, that was me. That was Me Too before Me Too existed.
Yeah, he got fucking railroaded on that.
Yeah, and he lays out an interesting case about how Sony Music was potentially involved with it too, because Michael Jackson like owned the Beatles catalog and a bunch of other really valuable music properties.
Yeah, I've enjoyed his videos on like really shelling out that case, but also just his history of Michael Jackson as a musician was really good too.
That would honestly be an interesting internet blood sport to get Razor Fist versus some guy who thinks that Michael Jackson was guilty on.
I think he has done live streams debating the issue before. I can't think of exactly who, but I think he has debated that with people.
I know there's been talk about trying to get him on Vacada to talk about the legal side of it.
He actually did. He was on one of those streams.
He warmed me up to DS9 too. He got me even before he did that Depths of DS9 stuff. Like just talking it up so much. I think even a couple of times when he was on my channel, like I was never into DS9 like as a Star Trek series originally. Like I watched it a little bit at first and I just sort of lost interest in it, and just for the longest time just assumed like it's not for me. And he got me to really take a look at it again and go back and watch a lot of it. And it's like, yeah, this is the best of this franchise.
He got me interested in the Death Wish series and Dirty Harry movies.
Oh, yeah, Death Wish is great.
Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Sporty Spinodrip says that Michael Jackson was about to buy Marvel before the allegations hit.
Really?
Things would have taken a very different turn if Michael Jackson had bought Marvel instead of Disney.
Well, Disney didn't end up buying them till
Much later.
Late 2000s. I mean, Michael Jackson, I guess that was right around when Marvel went bankrupt. He could have scooped them up pretty good then. It's funny. I mean, it's damn near the biggest brand in entertainment right now. But, people forget in the mid-'90s that company was literally bankrupt. They sold the rights to Sony for Spider-Man and X-Men for Fox in the mid-'90s. And that was part of what kept them afloat. And they were going to... It was something like... I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like $4 million for Spider-Man for Sony. But for another $1 million, you can get Captain America and Hulk and Iron Man and Black Panther and all these other Avengers characters. And Sony was like, nobody cares about those. Just give us Spider-Man.
Oops.
Disney had the chance to do the Ninja Turtles cartoon back in the 80s. Like, I don't remember the details, but it was something like Disney could have been distributing the Ninja Turtles cartoon, and somebody at Disney was like, this is the dumbest shit in the world. Nobody's going to watch this. And that was kind of before, like, Little Mermaid and shit. So Disney was actually in trouble at the time. And, like, really could have used that. Like, right before Little Mermaid, Disney was in fucking trouble. Don Bluth was fucking kicking their ass at the box office and shit. It's so weird, like, how differently, like, the entertainment industry could have easily gone. Like, back in the 70s, Stan Lee wanted to do Power Rangers, basically. Like, when there was the Marvel Spider-Man show in Japan, Stan Lee was starting to look at all these Japanese superhero shows, and he's like, I bet you we could, like, take the superhero parts of these and bring them over to America and reshoot the out-of-costume sequences with American actors and just sort of repackage it as an American thing, and we'd make a lot of money. And he tried desperately to get all the networks to pick up that idea, and they were all like, whatever, shut up, nerd. And like 20 years later, somebody did that with Power Rangers and made a kajillion fucking dollars.
Well, this was fun, but I got to get to bed.
I suppose I should as well. Get going. Hell, I've almost been live for 4 hours.
24-hour stream. Another 20 hours to go.
I certainly made 4 hours worth of pay this stream. Thank you both very much for that. That was very nice.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Put it towards a car.
You're welcome. Yep.
Well, that's not much else to do right now. Thanks a lot, guys, for being on. Thanks a lot, everybody, for listening. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up.